SEC West with a 42-35 victory over the Razorbacks.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
The days of us getting our teeth kicked in are over. That was what Sam Pittman said following the Alabama loss, a 7-point deficit to the Crimson Tide in a great game down there in Tuscaloosa where your offense put up a good chunk of yardage, but the defense let you down. We've got a lot to get into this morning. I know a lot of you were proud with what the team did down there in Alabama. The Chiefs side with the Cowboys, not with offense, but defense in Arrowhead. I know a lot of you were happy to see it. A lot of you were disappointed to see the result with a bunch of Chiefs and Cowboys fans that listen to our program. Dan Mullen out at Florida. Wild news coming out of Gainesville following their overtime loss to the Missouri Tigers on Saturday. I know Eli Drinkwitz had some fun with that, and he brought in a lightsaber following the Dan Mullen thing that he did last year, so he had some fun. You get Missouri, 15-point favorites is what you opened at against the Tigers this week. We are not short for content here on Hot Take Monday this morning.
No, and Hot Take Monday always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Chris and Lee J and the entire crew want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving this week. If you've got some time off with family, stop by Wheels the next couple of days and see the crew. Let them show you one of the brand new RVs they have and a lifetime warranty that comes with it. Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
So watching College Game Day like I always do on Saturdays, and we also had Arkansas Game Day that day, and I listened to this clip from Desmond Howard. Arkansas, Alabama is one of only 3 top 25 matchups that day, and Desmond said that they shouldn't even talk about it.
I got something wrong here?
I think my board's messing up. Will you click that Desmond Howard clip on Arkansas?
Okay, let's go to the SEC. Alabama can sew up the SEC West quickly. They beat Arkansas today?
I don't even know why this one's on our list. Of course they win. They win big today. I'm going Bama. Roll Tide.
I know that ticked a lot of Arkansas fans off when they heard that. And for you to put up the valiant effort that you did in that football game was pretty special considering you lost by 49 to the Crimson Tide this last year. And for you to come up so close, so short, and be an onside kick and a touchdown away from tying that game with a little over a minute to go was pretty significant to show how far you've come. That's why I really appreciated Coach Pittman's quote in the the post-game presser when he said, the days of us getting our teeth kicked in are over. And I think that is it's one of the strongest quotes of his season, just talking about his football team and his program.
Well, and I know we're having some fun with Desmond there, but let's be honest, outside of this state, there's many that had a similar opinion to what Desmond Howard. And honestly, is there a reason to not think that way unless you were close to this program? I didn't think Arkansas was going to get beat 49-14 or some big wild 4-touchdown number. I thought it was going to be 31-24, I think is what I told Clay in the magazine last week. But, Arkansas had a valiant effort in this ball game. You still came up short. You still got 4 losses on the year. But I can certainly understand why someone on the outside felt that way. It's I think more about Bama than it is about Arkansas. So I think this was a statement game, even in a loss, for this program to people like Desmond Howard, who kind of realized how far this program has come.
I think that Bryce Young showed you every bit why he's going to end up in New York and an outstanding game. He broke all sorts of Alabama records and just was tearing Arkansas apart. There was times you stopped him. Monteric Brown had an incredible fumble, not only forced fumble, but a fumble recovery. You also had the 4th down stop, which Arkansas squandered, I think, on the second play of that drive with the fumble. There are just areas of that game where the defense, while they didn't play great, we know that they did make a stop or two or a play or two, and the offense just couldn't come through in those clutch situations, which you have to against the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, I mean, they, for the most part, did a great job of stopping the run. Now, you got, several sacks that went in there to really pad up that rushing number, but Arkansas couldn't stop anything in the passing game. I mean, like you said, it's a record day of passing. The most yards ever given up by an Arkansas defense at 559, and the most the most ever by Alabama. They showed all those records, and the second most in an SEC game behind KJ Costello last year at 623 in that LSU game. This was a record performance, like you said, for Bryce Young. Arkansas stopped the run when they went to it, but they just finally gave up on that because there was so much there in the secondary, and you just wonder if Jalen Catalon had not been injured earlier in the year, if he had been there for the entire year, if he was there for this game, would it have played out the same? We'll never know.
Mike texted in via our YouTube live stream, which you can always watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line. He says he's very proud of this team and how they played Alabama. Here's a great stat from War Machine, who puts up all the Arkansas highlights. He's one of the best follows around. Arkansas had averaged 8.5 points per game in Tuscaloosa the last 6 games until yesterday. The only single-digit loss to Saban there was the first year in 2007 when the Crimson Tide went 7-6. That again shows you not only to do it against Alabama, but to do it in Tuscaloosa to put up 35 points. That's a big deal, y'all. And I know this is not the same Alabama defense that they've had in years past. Pete Gold and Nick Saban, they're going to have some things that they need to figure out when it gets to closer to postseason play, particularly the SEC championship. But you just put up a great performance, and you gained a lot of respect. And I can tell you this right now, I cannot wait for that October matchup between Bryce Young and KJ Jefferson in Fayetteville next year, because that's going to be two of the premier quarterbacks in this league. Bryce could potentially be coming off a Heisman Trophy winning season, and this matchup we had in front of us this past Saturday was special, kind of like the Patrick Mahomes-Dak Prescott matchup, but a lot more scoring in this Arkansas-Alabama game.
You know, if Arkansas had found a way to win that game in the end and with the numbers that KJ Jefferson had, despite the long casted shadow by Bryce Young, I think KJ would be a Heisman favorite going into next year. And I don't know if the schedule is going to set up where he could complete that, but his name would get a lot of conversation. Even in that loss, I think he's going to be on a lot of people's second or maybe third list, past their top 3. Maybe he's in their 4, 5, or 6 for their Heisman next year just based on their memory of what he did Saturday.
I think with KJ,
I'm talking about next year.
And you're talking about the schedule he said, I think it sets up perfectly because you have so many big-time marquee games that you can prove and show that you're worthy of being in that discussion. I know you lose Traylon Burks after this season. We're going to have to figure out who he's going to throw the ball to more consistently, and you lose some offensive linemen, which we know are a key part of this football team, but all your running backs are back. You've still got a lot of pass catchers and weapons that you're going to be excited about with this offense next year.
Yeah, but you're going to have to win 10 games to win a Heisman at least, and that's my point with the schedule. I don't know the schedule sets up to where Arkansas can win 10 ball games, and that's the issue with it.
I think that you could probably get away with winning 9, like Robert Griffin III did. It just kind of depends. It depends on how
who you lose to
goes.
and how you lost those games.
I think people understood playing the SEC, playing the toughest schedule in college football. They give credit. And that's one of the things I kept hearing on with different analysts is like for Arkansas to do what they did against Alabama following this season's schedule is pretty remarkable with the display they put on Saturday.
All right, off and running, short holiday week, and happy Thanksgiving from our friends at Standard Materials Group at APAC Arcola. If you're looking for a new place to call your work home the rest of this year and certainly in 2022, they have open positions right now for ready-mix drivers in Northwest Arkansas, Fort Smith in the River Valley, and in Harrison. So if you're looking for a great company with great benefits, top pay, a sign-on bonus, profit sharing, and more, this is the place you want to call your work home. And you can be home at nights and, again, advancement opportunities with a big company as well. Jobs.crh.com is where you apply. You can do that now or anytime this week. Jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group are equal opportunity employers.
Talk some Kansas City Chiefs and Dallas Cowboys coming up. Dan Mullen out at Florida. A lot to discuss. More Arkansas-Alabama conversation headed your way.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Till noon.
One of the most important decisions you'll make is the housing for an aging parent or loved one. Hope's Creek in Van Buren is the smart decision. Your loved one has apartment living with 3 home-style meals per day, and you can check on them anytime. Hope's Creek, 2502 Fayetteville Road, Van Buren. Is this the right decision? Finding a home for your parents is always tough, but choosing Dalton's Place in Waldron is the right place. They'll live in a secure environment, but you can stop by anytime. And the residents have their health monitored daily. Check out Dalton's Place at 502 West 2nd Street, Waldron.
Oh, my goodness.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. It's not too early to start thinking about that special someone on your list. So stop in now and check out their great selection of in-stock inventory. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. For all of your golfing needs, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith.
Oh, wow!
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter Agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
What's your New Year's resolution in 2021? Mine is to lose weight, and one of the fastest and easiest ways to do that is through biking. That's where Champion Cycling comes in. Just in time for Christmas, enter to win a specialized Allays road bike or specialized 12-inch Rip Rock Kids bike valued at $1,200. Register at hitthatline.com for your chance to win. Get back on track next year with Champion Cycling, the Champion Cycling Bike Giveaway with ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
He's going to throw short, complete to his tight end, Latu, inside the 10-yard line. Ball's on the ground. Hogs recover it at the 1. Busta Brown forced it out, and then he fell on the football.
Did you miss a segment or interview during the show? Find it in the Bud Light Seltzer Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
James in Charleston wants us to mention Jonathan Taylor for his incredible game yesterday against the Buffalo Bills. Well, I played Jonathan Taylor in fantasy, so that was that hurt my heart yesterday, James. But I will give credit to the former Wisconsin running back who's really the headlining the MVP conversation right now in the National Football League. But we're going to continue on to talk about these Arkansas Razorbacks and the spirit and the fight that they had down there in Tuscaloosa. We'll do that coming up after this.
Hey, real quick, couple things. Want to remind you can enter the $15,000 free rent or mortgage sweepstakes right now at hitthatline.com. It's brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage. Just go to hitthatline.com. You could win $15,000 to pay your rent or mortgage for the next year from Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage. Hey, if you're looking for a new dentist, stop in at 5901 Riley Park Drive. That's Riley Farm Dental that you'll be looking for. Dr. Bo Sparkman, Dr. Brogan are there. If you're ending the end of the year and you've met your deductible and you need some work done, now's the time to make that appointment and get in to see Dr. Sparkman or Dr. Brogan before the year is up. They've been voted top 3 best of the best every year since 2017. So if you're looking for a new dentist or a new dental home for your entire family, they do everything: braces, implants, cosmetics, and, of course, general dentistry. 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or see more at RileyFarmDental.com.
Got a lot of these, and I know that Drew and Zach fielded a lot of these about the proud and just the effort that this team displayed. Like Daniel, who said he was proud of this team when they took on the number 2 team in the country, and he thinks that they're going to go to Missouri and win. I was a little surprised. Line opened at 15 against the Tigers. That's what you're favored by. 15.
Yeah, and particularly after the way they've played the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they just beat Florida.
Just got a coach fired.
Which they have. Oh, did you see that stat I sent you? Or that's in the rundown of how many coaches have gotten fired after Missouri?
No, I did not see that yet.
So look at this. So after Missouri, SEC coaches that have been fired: Dan Mullen, Derek Mason, Brett Bielema, Butch Jones, and then Derek Dooley and Joker Phillips were fired a week after. That's 6 coaches within a week or so span that have been fired after losing to Mizzou.
I wonder how many, if you applied that same theory to Arkansas the last 5 or 10 years, when Arkansas has been down. And maybe not at the end of the year. Bielema got fired following that game, but that didn't really have anything to do with Missouri. It had to do with, it was the last game of the year.
Would he have kept that job if they beat him?
Boy, I don't think so. They already had it written up and the chair set for the press conference. I think he was done either way. But, it seems like Arkansas's faced a few coaches that, later on in the year after beating them went to get fired. Arkansas hadn't won many games, so it's not a lengthy list, but that is kind of an interesting stat you put together there that, all those coaches that have been dismissed following losing to Missouri. So that tells you kind of where Missouri's program is at. Losing to Missouri is unacceptable, and it should be again this week, but not to the point that you would ever consider something else with Sam Pittman.
Yeah, I think it's Gabe Matter, the Columbia Post-Dispatch, is the one that kind of cataloged that. I was kind of surprised. I think Joker Phillips, when he had that in there, I think Joker was fired after the Arkansas loss. I think that's the lone win that you had in 2012 in the Southeastern Conference was the Kentucky Wildcats, if I remember, because I think that's the game that Tyler went off and threw for a bunch of touchdowns, if I remember that game, Ryan.
Normally, I would have devoured your rundown last night, but it was Yellowstone night, and then Mayor of Kingstown, so I didn't get to it. I apologize.
I didn't watch Yellowstone. My roommate had Succession on, which I had never watched prior to last night. I got into just a wild sequence of what ended up happening. I was watching that in the Sunday night football game between the Chargers and the Steelers. Yeah. Tonight I'll be 100% focused. I need 23.2 points fantasy from Tom Brady in order for media advance tonight. Hopefully TB can help me out with that, but I will be watching Yellowstone a little later on today. But I was focused on basically 2 games this weekend: Arkansas and Alabama, and the Chiefs and Cowboys. Packers ended up losing, unfortunately, to the Minnesota Vikings, which was a bummer, but I think what you said earlier about the Heisman is warranted with KJ next year. Now, JT in Hot Springs, I think, makes an excellent point. This program, and more basketball than football, but I think football does a good job as well, is known for good marketing. Well, whoever's in charge of that should market the heck out of KJ. If they beat Missouri and they win their bowl game, they should already be trying to promote following the Heisman Trophy presentation. KJ,
what did you say? If they what?
They beat Missouri and win their bowl game.
There you go. All right. So two big things that need to be done.
That need to happen.
You're exactly right on those points, and those were the points I was going to rebut whatever you said with was, hey, but none of it matters. You cancel the postcards, mailing those out if you don't beat Missouri and win a bowl game. And I think, we had someone text in, maybe Gator Bowl against Clemson. Hey, that would be a great opportunity. I know Clemson, Clemson hadn't been Clemson this year, but it's still Clemson. So, I mean, maybe you could get an opportunity like that to beat a marquee name who's having a down year and boost your profile a little bit. But absolutely, you've got to win these last two, and you don't even know who the second one's against yet or where it's at in order to get into that conversation.
Now, Matt brings up, you were talking about the win-losses earlier. Lamar Jackson, Tim Tebow, I said Robert Griffin, Bo Jackson. Who did George Rogers play for? I'd be lying if I told you who that was.
George the Jet Rogers, wasn't it Nebraska?
Okay.
Am I right on that?
I know the other four, but I didn't know George Rogers, but they were all on 3 to 4 loss teams.
Bet a mortgage payment on that, but I think I'm right.
Okay, according to Matt. And Lamar, and I remember these teams. Tebow in 2007 is when he won the Heisman over Darren, and that was one of Florida's worst years under Urban Meyer relative to where they were in that kind of span. But, yeah, I just think that with the schedule next year, you're hoping that a lot of hype will be surrounding KJ Jefferson. We're a long way from that, but I said it. I said it
told
early
South
on.
Carolina's the answer. See, I told you I wouldn't bet on
it. I was the one that was kind of petitioning. I was like, the way the schedule sets up next year. Now, Traylon Burks is a key part of why Arkansas's offense has been so successful, and Brad Mountain Home was asking an update on him. Coach Pittman said after the game that he's beat up. He looked like he had a wrist injury. He looked like he had a shoulder or clavicle injury. That guy just played his butt off, and he is definitely going to be my best of the weekend. Just the effort that he put forth on Saturday to almost single-handedly will that team to a victory.
Well, Jamie Erdahl said that there was clearly some shoulder problems. She kind of detailed some things that she had information on that maybe they don't talk a lot about injuries, but yeah, I mean the way he left the field after that onside kick and he got walloped there by Anderson on the boundary. You just hope he's able to go and be ready for you. I mean, I don't know how much of an update we're going to get out of Sam Pittman because he didn't talk about injuries, but hopefully they can rehab him a little bit over Thanksgiving week and get him ready to play this week because I don't know that you got to have him to win. He's your, if nothing else, your best decoy, if nothing else. Hey, great week for movie watching, family time in front of the TV. How you doing it? Well, if you don't have Dish, you're probably paying too much and you're not getting all the channels you'd like to have, and you're not getting the full Hopper experience that you can get with Dish from World of Wireless. Sign up right now. Get a $150 Google Mesh router that will help you automate your home. Get that Google router that they'll fully install for you. That's a value of $150. It's free when you sign up for Dish right now. Movie channels free for the first 90 days. The Hopper that can record 16 things at once, and you can have it before Thanksgiving. Call this morning, 877-305-DISH for a WOW World of Wireless.
Let's talk about Dan Mullen being ousted by the Florida Gators next on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Eagles Nest is coming in hot.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you looking to renovate your spice cabinet? Well, Rub It Snout All Grub Rubs will do just that. This is the one seasoning that is fantastic on all food. Rub It Snout is literally the only seasoning you'll need. Our family of All Grub Rubs will take any food to the maximum level of flavor. Rub It Snout All Grub Rubs are excellent for cooking, smoking, grilling, frying, and baking. But don't take our word for it. Get yours now. Spread the rub. Go to rubitsnout.com to place your order.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Wheeler Power Sports has you covered this fall with a huge in-stock selection of ATVs, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, motorcycles, scooters, and more. Looking to sell or trade? Wheeler Power Sports is begging for your gently used off-road vehicle or motorcycle. Go to WheelerPowersports.com to check out the full in-stock inventory or give them a call at 479-783-5822. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Randy Milam in Alma or Brad Howe in Van Buren about Shelter's home insurance.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from Wild World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional, Dish-authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, Wild World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH for more details, or stop by our location at the corner of Phoenix and Rogers, or visit us online at shopwildnow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
What's your New Year's resolution in 2021? Mine is to lose weight, and one of the fastest and easiest ways to do that is through biking. That's where Champion Cycling comes in. Just in time for Christmas, enter to win a specialized Allays road bike or specialized 12-inch Rip Rock Kids bike valued at $1,200. Register at hitthatline.com for your chance to win. Get back on track next year with Champion Cycling, the Champion Cycling Bike Giveaway with ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Jefferson gets the snap, looking to throw, got some time, going deep. He's got Thompson at the goal line, complete, touchdown Arkansas!
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here and hitthatline.com.
I know a lot of you were keeping an eye on what was going on in Kansas City yesterday between the Dallas Cowboys and the Chiefs. Well, also tonight, Probably not 8 o'clock, as Tommy and I were discussing before the show. They've got it scheduled and slated to start at 8, but the Cincinnati and Illinois game starts at 6, and they're probably not going to be able to box it in that window. But you do have this classic tonight where Arkansas has a pretty good opportunity on ESPN News, which is kind of a bummer, but to showcase their basketball team a little bit.
All right, we'll talk about that in just a second. It's all brought to you here on a Hot Take Monday by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. A lifetime warranty with every new RV they sell. Find out why they've been once again voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Happy Thanksgiving from Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So the biggest news of the college football this weekend was Dan Mullen getting let go by the Florida Gators. Now, some things to, as of note, with this fire. The Gators fans have already seen a bunch of them call in for Bob Stoops. That's who the fans seem to be wanting as their next head coach. Greg Knox, who's their special teams coordinator, is going to take over as interim for the Florida State game. Tommy, he has a 34-15 record in 4 years, 21 SEC wins, 3 New Year's Six Bowls, a SEC East title this past season, but they've lost 5 straight Power 5 opponents, and that's really what a lot of Gator fans are frustrated about.
Yeah, and this is, not what Scott Strickland was wanting to deal with, their AD, when he had just given a contract extension to Dan Mullen 5 months ago. This is not as though they have been at odds or he's been on thin ice for a while. I'm amazed at how quickly this all came unraveled, and it all seemed to really start with the recruiting comment a few weeks ago, where it spiraled quickly out of control on Dan Mullen. So that's a lesson for a lot of head coaches out there. It's going to be an active coaching search market here in the next 10 days or 2 weeks. You still got LSU to name a coach, USC, Virginia Tech. Who else is out there? TCU. I think Washington has an opening. So those are all places, along with Florida, that are going to be looking for head coaches. Now, is Florida the best job in that? I know some would say, no, USC is clearly the best job. I don't know if it is or isn't right now, but LSU, I think, is the better job when compared to Florida. And so there's some competition within currently, and there may be more coming within the Southeastern Conference for a head coach.
How much better of a job do you think the LSU is over Florida? Because I think most people, including myself, would agree with you. I just don't know
close.
How wide the gap is.
It's close, but the reason we know some of the reasons you give the edge to LSU, but you are the flagship university in the state of Louisiana, and it's not as populous as Florida as far as the numbers, but there is no Florida State, there is no Miami, and you can't discount UCF and Florida Atlantic anymore. I mean, they get kids, but then everybody else, Georgia, some of those, Clemson, they're Alabama, they're all coming into Florida as well. So not that other programs don't recruit Louisiana, but Florida's just a more prized recruiting ground. The recruiting grounds is probably what narrows the gap.
Not the food.
Well, the food's a whole other discussion. But the food's trumped or offset, at least counterbalanced by the beach in Florida. So you're close to the beach.
That's true.
I think LSU's a better job. Even though you got to contend with the West and you got to contend with Bama, it seemingly has a smoother path to the college football playoff.
So if Scott Strickland at Florida, who's the athletics director there, and Scott Woodward, who's the athletics director at LSU, are pitching Lane Kiffin, let's say they're both gunning for the Ole Miss head coach, where do you think he would be more likely to end up? Is it the better, more recruiting fertile ground of LSU, or is it the beaches and the palm trees of Florida? I don't know if Gainesville necessarily has a bunch of them, but
Kiffin likes to sport fish, right? He likes all the go out on the boat and go deep sea fish and all that. Not that you can't do that in Louisiana, because hey, I love redfish, and that's not really deep sea, but I mean it's as good an area as there is. But I think you have to make the determination if you're Lane Kiffin, who's the bigger bear to slay? Who's the tougher bear to slay right now? You say, well, of course it's Nick Saban. Well, is it? Is it? Because what Kirby Smart's doing this year at Georgia is pretty impressive. So who do you want to deal with for the next 5 years if you're a head coach in your division, plus the week in, week out stuff? And what gets you fired? Well, it's drastically coming up short of expectations. The path to 10 wins is much smoother at Florida. It just is. But I think maybe the path to a national title is easier.
It's weird how
you go
you go back and forth.
And it's because you get to play. I mean, right now, South Carolina, Missouri, and Vanderbilt are almost built-in wins. Then you add 3 non-conference games. You're at 6 before you've started camp in a lot of cases when you're Florida, or you should be at least. And that's why Dan Mullen's not there, is because, well, he just lost to Missouri, and that's unacceptable.
I think the timeline on this, I think I have this correct. So you've got Saban, Miles, Ogeron, who have won 3 national championships for LSU, last 3 head coaches. I think 2 of the last 4, because you went Spurrier, Natties, then Zook, then Meyer, Natties, then Mullen. I think, Muschamp, then Mullen. So I guess it's 2 of the 5 have won championships while at Florida.
Those were 2 all-timers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Spurrier and Meyer, right? I mean, 2 of the legends of the last,
regardless of what you think about Urban Meyer,
50 years or quarter century. Yeah, whatever you think about Urban. You cannot write the story of college football without telling Urban Meyer's part of the story.
He changed the landscape of the SEC along with Gus Malzahn with those offenses.
I don't think anyone would put Les Miles or Ed Orgeron in that same conversation. So that's to me what you sell that LSU job on is, listen, kind of that backhanded compliment. Hey, if Ed Orgeron can do it, if Les Miles eating grass can do it,
you can do it.
You can do it here. So, that to me is the difference in the jobs. Florida, they've got, and I thought did you read Dan Mullen's letter to the fans that he put on Twitter?
I've not, I haven't seen it just yet.
I guess it's in the interpretation of the reader, but boy, he thanks the fans and he thanks the program, Scott Strickland, the president, and all that. And he goes, "There's a very bright future here with all the young players that will be on the roster and the facilities that will come online next spring." And I thought it was interesting the way he wrote that open letter to the fans, because he's making some points there that, hey, we've recruited well. We got a great young roster on the way. And one of the things that McElwain had issue with, Muschamp had issue with.
McElwain was in there too, so it's 2 of 6.
They had issues with facilities. And you think, well, my God, Florida's got to have the best facilities in the conference. Well, no, they don't. Then indoor, they didn't have a real indoor. There's a lot of things at the University of Florida you'd be surprised with that are way behind schedule. And so facilities have been an issue. And, Dan Mullen made that point that, hey, we got some new stuff coming online, basically saying, hey, the road is paved for whoever's next. I've loaded the cupboard and the table is set.
In this letter, I'm reading it right now. He starts the second paragraph with, "I will always cherish the 2 national championships we won at Florida." Mm-hmm. Am I misremembering?
He was an assistant. He was the OC.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
2008. He was.
Was I in a coma for the last 5 years, or what was going on?
That got him.
That's how he got to Mississippi State.
Yeah, those times.
Okay, that's what he's
with Chris Leak and Tim Tebow in 06 and 08 really secured him this. I think this job, just the connection that he had to that, because he's an incredible offensive mind. I don't think anyone in college football would question that. It's just the head coaching.
Even Scott Strickland said that, hey, when it comes to the offensive side, there's no, he paid him a very high compliment about his offensive coaching ability. Yeah. He's not done coaching. I mean, if someone gives me $12 million to leave this job, I'm probably done, and y'all can send me the postcards to the Caribbean. But I think you'll see him be highly we don't know what other job. He may be a candidate for in some of these minds for some of these other openings, but he certainly at worst will be an OC at a very high level and highly paid to do it.
Try and take an OC job in the National Football League, because he seems to not care anything about recruiting whatsoever, and you don't have to recruit in the NFL. And I don't know. I think we've seen college coaches that have been transitioned from college coaches to coordinators that have done really well, and we've seen that they didn't transition well at all. So we'll see if that ends up happening for him. Now, Brent Brinville, I think, brings up a good point. The realignment with Oklahoma and Texas, when you're thinking about the LSU and Florida job, how that could ended up shaking out. There's a lot of things that coaches have to think about when taking new jobs, and that's something that we will continue to keep an eye on. Now, watching Will Anderson, the Alabama outside linebacker, on Saturday, him and Micah Parsons, who's the Dallas Cowboy linebacker, play very similar positions. They're constantly blitzing off the edge. Mike is having an outstanding season for the Dallas Cowboy defense, as Will Anderson is for Nick Saban's defense. No CeeDee Lamb for the majority of the game. He gets a concussion and ruled out, so no Amari Cooper. So Dak Prescott did not have a lot of guys to throw to. Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City really didn't dazzle on offense either, but Travis Kelce did get things going with a Wildcat touchdown, I think, in the first quarter.
Now they're going to go to a flip bone with Kelsey, who's going to get a direct snap here. And Kelsey runs an RPO. He's going to keep it, dives right into the middle of the Cowboy defense. Touchdown! Kansas City! Shades of the Super Bowl when the Chiefs do a little trickeration at the goal line. Kelsey runs an RPO off a direct snap out of the flip bone formation and keeps it. And the Chiefs have a touchdown on their first drive of the game.
That's Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, where you can hear right here, ESPN 104.3 and 95.3 as they beat the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. A little underwhelming in the sense that neither offense got on track throughout the game for the most part.
A lot of settling for field goals, the right way to describe this, or is this just defenses making stops? But nonetheless, I mean, when you got to score points to win, they were settling for field goals yesterday, and it was really kind of underwhelming from the standpoint you've got Dak Prescott. You got Patrick Mahomes. I'm expecting 45-42. I'm expecting 38-35, and that's not what we got yesterday. That was kind of disappointing.
Not at all. So it was weird how that game played out. Now, some other notable college football games before we get back into Arkansas-Alabama talk. Ohio State destroyed Michigan State. I think it ended up being 56-7.
Yep.
Just a gross football game. Buckeyes will take on Michigan this week in the game. Really excited to watch that one in Ann Arbor.
Let's got room for all the calls right now for the people that were complaining about Michigan and Michigan State being misranked after Michigan State had beaten them and Michigan being ahead of them in the poll and the college football playoff rankings a couple of weeks ago. Any time for those calls this morning?
Not many.
No.
So Kenneth Walker, I think, ended his day 6 rushes for 25 yards. He's out of the Heisman race, which is unfortunate because he's had a really good season to this point. Oklahoma, they survived against Iowa State. They were down 7-0 early, ended up winning that game by a touchdown. And Utah beat Oregon. So Oregon's college football playoff destinations are likely out of this point. Their Ducks are eliminated.
Well, the committee's got they got a big task this week to figure out who's going to be number 4 because it means Georgia 1, Bama 2, Ohio State 3. You could make the case for Ohio State to leapfrog Alabama, but I don't think that will happen when Bama won. But you could make that case because of the size of the margin over Michigan State. Does Cincy finally move up to 4? That's going to be interesting to see what happens when we get the next set of rankings tomorrow.
And last thing, Tiger was shown and put out on social media that he's hitting balls again back to his road to recovery. I know a lot of Tiger Woods fans were really excited to see that after the gruesome injuries that he suffered from his car accident. So that's the college football playoff rankings show will come out tonight. I expect Arkansas to be at 25, kind of like they are in the AP poll. Could be wrong, but I think a lot of fans college football people that were watching that game, including the college football playoff selection committee, losing to Alabama and Tuscaloosa by 7, that's not going to lose respect with a lot of different people.
No, and I was really surprised they dropped the way they did in the other polls. To me, somebody's got to lose. When you lose by 7 on the road to the number 2 team, are you really 4 spots less than you were a week ago? I thought you could make a case they should move up, but those polls ultimately don't mean anything. It's the rankings that the committee puts out that means anything, and Arkansas is outside of that tier that really matters at this point anyway in the season. But it was a valiant effort by the Hogs. Hey, we're brought to you by Sassy's Red House and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill. With the kids out of school for the most part this week and be out doing some shopping, getting your grocery shopping done to get everything done for this week. Stop in at Sassy's for lunch or dinner. Try their award-winning smoked wings, the tender brisket, the pulled pork. It's all available at both locations, Sassy's Original Red House on North College and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill on Steamboat Drive, just off the Weddington exit in Fayetteville.
Going to the phone lines, welcoming in our guy Eddie in Clarksville, who I know is very proud of the team's valiant effort on Saturday. Go ahead, Eddie.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call. Good morning, this great fan base. But this morning, I'm calling in to give a big thank you to all the coaches, to all the players for the valiant effort they took place Saturday at Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I mean, what an effort. And I believe this, gentlemen. Sometimes you win even when you lose. And certainly we won Saturday in that loss, headed back to Fayetteville. And you're talking about a building moment in the program. And left this fan base thirsty for more and optimistic about the future under the leadership of Coach Pittman. I mean, what an effort. The life of college football. And certainly you didn't get any. I'm just going to say this about the officiating. You know what Wally Hall said it best yesterday? It has to stop. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. I've seen it time and time again. You're supposed to represent all the members of the SEC. That doesn't take place. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. I want to give a big thank you, if you'd be so gracious, to all the fan base for your thoughts and prayers. You've always been there for me and my family. God bless you. All the associates at the DC 6082 at Clarksville, Arkansas, for all your thoughts and prayers. I'll be back soon blowing a whistle, and thank you so much. The best DC in all the land. And I'll say this before I leave. The future is bright on the Hall train. Stay aboard. That performance Saturday at Tuscaloosa, top 3 all time. And the performance on the playing field I ever witnessed. And I've been aboard the Hall train a long time, since 1971. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking my call. Let the whistle blow and stay aboard the Hall train, because now we've laid the tracks in the SEC. We're not your whooping boy anymore. And starting next year, we don't get that train rolling. Let that whistle blow.
Eddie, it's great to hear your voice, and happy Thanksgiving. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, Eddie, I really appreciate your call, buddy. Now, I do want to save kind of the officials discussion, because I wrote down as many plays as I can. I know a lot of people have questions about that. We'll save that for coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. But I think what stands out about this game, last year you lost 52-3. There's a 49-point differential this past year. This year was 7 on the road in Tuscaloosa. You had an outstanding duel between Bryce Young and KJ Jefferson, which I want to unpack a little more coming up. You had 3 wins last year in a 10-game season. You're now potentially going to have 8 with the win over Missouri regular season, 9 with the bowl victory. And you heard Eddie and Eddie's voice, the win when you lose. I go back and forth with the moral victories type of stuff, because I was taught at an early age what is the final on the scoreboard is what you shoot for. You want to end up in that W. But I think a lot of fans, and this is not necessarily typical, but I think a lot of fans were very satisfied with their performance, even in a loss on Saturday, even though it was frustrating that you feel like you had an opportunity being an onside kick and a touchdown away from tying up that football game. You just go back and forth a little bit between being proud of this team and being like, man, we got so close to beating these SOBs.
Well, considering where you've been, it's a reasonable conversation to have now. We can't continue to keep having this conversation about being close 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years from now. Eventually that sermon wears out. Mm-hmm. So eventually you've heard that story. You've heard the preacher preach that one. So you know, and that's the deal with head coaches. You know, you've got to do some things the fans don't expect. Honestly, this team did exactly what I expected Saturday. They went and played Alabama tough. They played them close. They didn't fall behind early like they did at Georgia and put themselves out of the ball game in the first quarter. So I kind of got what I expected on Saturday. I'm proud of the way they played. I thought they fought hard. I didn't think they could win down there. They came a little bit closer at the very, very end than I thought they would. I thought it'd be about a 7 to 10 point game, and that's exactly what I kind of got. So I'm not disappointed. I'm not mad. But you can't keep having this conversation the Monday following Alabama for the next 3 or 4 years. At some point, you got to end this now 15-year losing streak to these guys.
Nutt couldn't beat Saban at Alabama, and I know he only got one shot in 2007. Petrino couldn't beat Saban. Bielema couldn't beat Saban. We know Morris wasn't going to beat Saban. And Sam Pittman is the first, guys. He's the first coach at Arkansas since A&M's joined the league that he's beaten Texas A&M. He's the first coach in a while to beat Texas, which I know he hadn't played him since, 2009? You got crushed by him. But there's been many firsts, and I know Sam Pitt would love nothing more to be next year following the Fayetteville game to be the first coach that beats a Nick Saban coached Alabama team here at Arkansas, because, again, that dates back to 2006, the last time you beat him. You have not managed to beat Nick Saban since you arrived, and I'd argue, Tommy, you look at these games, I would say the closest you got, people say 2010, I'd say the 2014 game was a closer opportunity based on how just non-typical that Alabama team was. This Bama team's better than that 14 team, but this is probably the second closest opportunity you've had to beat Bama, you'd say. and I guess you got to throw 07 in there too. So top 4, 07, 2010, 2014, and this year. I mean, that's pretty impressive, just considering it's Sam Pittman's year number 2 here, and he's going up against Saban, who's been here since 07.
And for the first half, you keep beating yourself. You fumble a snap, then kick the ball. You give it back to Bama, give them a possession on the short field. Pre-snap penalties continue to be an issue. You look at this ball game, and Bama was the better team, but it was a lot closer than we expected. And if Arkansas takes away the self-inflicted mistakes on offense and figure out how to cover anybody on defense in the secondary, you probably win the ball game. So this wasn't a deal where Arkansas went toe-to-toe and just got outmanned. They were just a bigger old boy. I mean, Arkansas was pretty close there. You got to get out of your own way, and then, you can't give up a country mile in passing. And then, you ran into a guy who's up for a Heisman Trophy, and he had Banner Day doesn't even begin to cover what Bryce Young did. Mm-hmm. But Arkansas didn't even begin to cover one of their wide receivers far too often.
John Mechie and Jameson Williams both had field days against your secondary and carved them up. Now, when the defense did make plays like the 4th down stop, you turned the ball over the second play of that drive. Then when they got a fumble recovery, you went 3 and out. So it's hard to stop Alabama. We know that. We know how potent that offense is. But the offense, in those key situations, the defense did get a stop or did come up big. Offense didn't help them out. You have to convert on turnovers, and Arkansas has just not done that at points this season. They've settled for field goals, or they've come right back and had a 3 and out. It's just like in basketball. Live ball turnovers. Muss always talks about you can't have live ball turnovers. You can't have live ball turnovers. But you also, on the other end, when there is a live ball turnover, you take advantage. And Arkansas in basketball and transition is pretty fun to watch this season. Arkansas football, when they've gotten turnovers, they have not done a great job of finishing those with touchdowns or done anything for that matter. It feels like there's 3 and out falling. That you have to convert on those opportunities because they seldom come when you play the Crimson Tide.
But if I'd have told you going into the game Arkansas was going to have 5 drives of more than 75 yards or more, you'd have said, I'll take that bet. And that's exactly what Arkansas did. Now, you punted 6 times, like you said. You had the fumble, but Arkansas moved the ball. I mean, Arkansas was able to get first downs, and these weren't just one-play wonders. These were lengthy drives, 13 plays, 96 yards, 7 plays, 75 yards. And there was a 3-play 75 and a 10-play 75 and a 12-play 7. But my point is, these were sustained successions of moving the chains, which Arkansas has struggled with, and a lot of teams have struggled just to get first downs against Bama. Mm-hmm. They were able to do that Saturday.
They were close to, I don't have the stats in front, they were close to 50% converting 3rd downs, and that's been an issue for Arkansas. I think they're 11th in the SEC, but what didn't seem to be on Saturday.
Hey, get the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. Take it along for the next time you're headed to the lake for some cold water bass fishing at Beaver or Table Rock or Bull Shoals. Or if you're headed to the White River soon, it's great there as well. You can work it in a fast current or work it in a extremely slow water. It'll stay in the strike zone longer with this Suspending Rattling Rogue and help you catch more fish. Find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Still a lot to discuss here on a Hot Take Monday. You're more than welcome to jump in here, 877-377-6963. How about the battle we had with quarterbacks between KJ and Bryce Young? We'll talk about that coming up on the Morning Rush.
What does everybody want this year? Their very own hot tub. Hot Spring Spas makes every day better. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith have the very best deals on hot spring spas. Supplies are very limited, so let Burton Pools and Spas know that you want one and claim your hot tub. Choose from over 36 models. They are already ordered and waiting for you to pick yours out. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Atchley Air is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Our service to the River Valley began in 1958, the same year that the legendary Frank Broyles took over as football coach. The Hogs have had some great coaches, but we've never had so many on campus all at once. Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Mike Neighbors, just to name a few. What an incredible team. We put together quite a team at Atchley Air, too. On game day, call the Hogs. When your AC breaks, call Atchley Air.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers, in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Whether you're fishing for coldwater bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Oh my gourd, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. This month, I want to say thanks. So I'm on a mission to make car buying easy as pie and help you snag a sweet deal on one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. This month, you could drive a nicer, newer car and save up to $4,150. That's a lot of dough. So if your old ride is flaky, crusty, burnt, or rusty, don't let it squash your happiness. Trade it for a nicer, newer car now, even if you still owe money, and save up to $4,150. Plus, my For the People approval process makes financing your nicer, newer car easy as pie. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Deals this delicious won't last long, so visit us today at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
You've trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Oh my goodness.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. It's not too early to start thinking about that special someone on your list. So stop in now and check out their great selection of in-stock inventory. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. For all of your golfing needs, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith.
Oh, wow!
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask Shelter agents Tiffany Newman or Warren Robertson about renter's insurance.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
We have an area of high pressure taking on over and some tranquil but cool weather in the forecast for today. Plenty of sunshine with highs north into the mid-50s. We'll hit the upper 50s south. Clear for the overnight hours with lows ranging from the low to mid-30s. Sunny for tomorrow with highs low 60s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Listen to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Weekdays from 11 to 1.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Bama's going to move to 10-1. Hogs are going to drop to 7-4 with the Battle Line rivalry game coming next week. Nick Saban out, Sam Pittman out. I promise you, these Razorbacks earned another measure of respect today, Quinn.
Yeah, they came to fight. The thing I like about this football team, they don't want to earn respect that way. They want to win these football games, and they're moving in the right direction. There's no doubt about that.
Well, the Razorbacks put 468 yards of total offense on the board, 35 points, but it is Alabama who clinches the SEC West with a 42-35 victory over the Razorbacks.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So you're expecting a great duel in quarterbacks between Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes, but really both offenses couldn't get anything going. But you had a fantastic matchup between Bryce Young and KJ Jefferson. Bryce is probably going to end up in New York. I would be shocked if he didn't this season. Maybe KJ is one of those guys that's a dark horse Heisman candidate this next year. I'm excited for their second rematch in Fayetteville this next year. But we'll talk about them just going back and forth. And KJ this November, y'all, is completing 76% of his passes. Pretty special for that young man. Accuracy was definitely an issue heading into this season.
It's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels, and you'll find out why they have once again been voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV. Real quick, want to let you know we've got a brand new giveaway beginning today. Go to hitthatline.com. There's a couple of opportunities to win. You could win a brand new bike for Christmas from Champion Cycling. Great selection of bikes and all the best brands. Right now we're giving away 2 bikes for Christmas. You can enter at hitthatline.com to win a specialized Elise road bike or a specialized 12-inch Rip Rock kids bike, all with helmets as well, from Champion Cycling and hitthatline.com.
No interceptions in November, 5 touchdown passes, again, completing 76%. He was 73% against Alabama, 72% against LSU, and then 83% against Mississippi State. Now, Bryce Young also had a fantastic game. He goes 31 for 40, had 561 and 5 touchdowns. KJ, I know it says he had 3 touchdowns. To me, he had 4. I thought Ward Thompson should have been scored a touchdown, but they ended up spotting it short, and then they had Dominique Johnson who punched it in the second play. So what I think stood out to me is what Kendall Briles said in the season. Before the season, he wants this guy to be about 65%. Right now, KJ is at 66, so he's right on par on what Kendall Briles wants. And I think that's pretty special for a guy, Tommy, heading into this season. I think accuracy was the biggest issue. And we've still seen him throw here and there that you're just kind of looking. It's like guy's wide open, he overthrows him, or he underthrows him, you're just kind of sitting there a little puzzled. But for the most part, especially in November, KJ has been throwing darts.
I talked about this a month ago, that if you could get the intermediate to short passing game shored up, because his downfield passes, when he went to go for 25 or more yards downfield, that seemed to be where he was most accurate in those throws. Now he's come along, and I think this is a tribute to what this coaching staff and Kendall Briles have done with him to develop that part of his game, and KJ Jefferson. Give him the credit for getting the job done, of course. So he is rounding into a more complete quarterback, but he's still going to be the guy at 245 pounds that's hard to bring down, that can drag tacklers to the line to gain, and that's still going to, I believe, be your bread and butter, particularly next year when you're likely not to have number 16 out there.
Yeah, it's going to be really telling what kind of quarterback KJ Jefferson is without Traylon Burks. And my best of the weekend is easily going to be Burks' performance because he just gutted out. He was putting his life and his body on the line for this Razorback team time and time again. You could tell he was in pain all over the place, and yet he just kept getting it done. But for KJ to start against the way he did against Rice to where he is now as one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in this league, it shows you the maturation process that he's gone through. It shows you Kendall Briles got, for whatever reason, a lot of flack during this game. Guys, and listen, we can criticize a lot of different things, but I got to find this. 3rd down conversions, Arkansas went, 7 for 16. So they're right under 50% on the season. They're 11th in the country. And I know that there was occasionally you're like, why are they calling a QB draw here and there? They do it based on the look and the alignment that Alabama gives it. And for me, I didn't have much of a problem on Kendall's play calling, particularly in the second half. I would have liked to see him throw a little bit more, but I thought he called a pretty good game. And I think there's a reason you put up 35 on Alabama, who, by the way, I know they're still not the same great defensive team, but they're still a really darn, and I say great, they're still in the top 10 basically every major category in college football.
And listen, if those 3rd down runs and particularly the middle draws converted, which they did a few times, when I was watching Twitter, no one was complaining about that. It was only the ones where it didn't work out where you were complaining about the result. What did Bama do with their secondary a lot of the game, Ty? How did they match up with Arkansas? Man coverage. So they pressed and got up on the line and gave you a man look. So if they're going to give you a man look and you've got the field spread, in a quarterback keep or quarterback run in the middle of the field what you're looking for, and then find a lane? Because if those guys are going with their receivers, one of two things is going to happen. Either somebody's going to open up quickly, and it's an RPO type situation that's not really designed to be that. But what you're trying to do is spread them out, get that secondary down the field, and then you've got numbers. You've got your offensive line and your quarterback outnumbering the guys in front in a lot of cases. So I didn't have nearly as big a trouble with the way Alabama was playing Arkansas with the play calls that Kendall Briles was getting crushed for on social media throughout the game.
Mm-hmm. I thought that he called himself, particularly in the second half, a really good game. Now, Nate texting, I thought I like Nate's text. Can't let Bama beat you 2 weeks in the go. I was a little surprised to see Arkansas's favored opened up as a 15-point favorite against Missouri, but that's where you are right now. But Nate's right. You can't take what you did against Alabama. I think a lot of fans that I listened to called Drew and Zach on Hog Reaction. If you want to listen to that show, just search Hit That Line. Drew and Zach did a great job just reacting with a bunch of calls and texts from Saturday. You can't let them beat 2 weeks in a row. I hope Arkansas comes out and just smashes them, because this Missouri game, for whatever reason, you hadn't beat them since 2015. It's been a very frustrating series since they've entered the league, because you feel a lot of times that you're better than them, and I think this is a great opportunity when they come. They're coming off a big win against Florida in overtime. You'd love to just end their season with a crushing blow to the psyche. And the other thing, I heard Zach mention, Eli Drinkwitz really wants to win this game. Yep. This is an Arkansas guy. I don't know how much the talks escalated with him potentially getting this job, but he's got the high school roots here, and he wants to beat you. And so you better come fully prepared, because it's not going to be a walk in the park come Saturday. So you say Saturday, come Friday afternoon.
I mean, this almost sounds like a dumb statement, but you're catching Missouri at the wrong time. You know that really. You're what? Yeah. Actually, you're catching Missouri when they're playing their best football here at the end of the year after starting 0-3 in league play and looking just terrible. But they've gained confidence. A couple of big wins, beat South Carolina, and of course overtime against Florida. And that's how razor thin it is. If Dan Mullen beats Missouri in that overtime and that 2-point conversion goes, then we're talking probably about a different outcome this morning in Florida with their head coach than what we're talking about. So right now you're catching Missouri with a lot of confidence, and I promise you, they believe they think they can beat the Razorbacks on Friday. Hey, we're brought to you by the Grounds guys who are in Northwest Arkansas and the Fort Smith area. If your yard is like mine, it's covered in leaves. Every time the wind blows, hundreds more leaves fall on my lawn. I bet yours is the same way. They'll come out, bag up all the leaves, haul everything away. They'll get your flower beds looking great for fall and winter ahead. Also pressure wash those driveways and walkways that need to look good for winter. So if you're needing someone to spruce things up, bag up all the leaves and haul them away, call the grounds guys, 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897. Tell them you heard it here on the Morning Rush and get $25 off your fall or winter service from the grounds guys, 479-303-GUYS.
I want to talk about what Sam Pittman said in his post-game press conference following the game. Also going to be joined by Tom Murphy, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, coming up on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team-building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Spas has the best deals on hot spring spas with over 36 models to choose from. They're available right now. They've been ordered and are ready for you to choose the one you want. Stop by Burton Pools and Spas, see the different features, lighting packages, seating arrangements, sizes, everything you want, even saltwater options available with hot spring spas, and get the one you want on reserve today. See the full lineup of hot spring spas at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
What's your New Year's resolution in 2021? Mine is to lose weight, and one of the fastest and easiest ways to do that is through biking. That's where Champion Cycling comes in. Just in time for Christmas, enter to win a specialized Alays road bike or specialized 12-inch Rip Rock Kids bike valued at $1,200. Register at hitthatline.com for your chance to win. Get back on track next year with Champion Cycling, the Champion Cycling Bike Giveaway with ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jefferson in an empty set. Got trips to the left. He's going to throw. Fay toward the corner. Pass. They fight for it, and it is caught. Caught by Rocket Sanders for a touchdown.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Going to hear from Sam Pittman coming up. You haven't got a chance to listen to his press conference. It's on hitthatline.com. It's on our YouTube channel as well. I thought he reflected and was honest and open. He kept saying we're going for the win. The fake field goal, the 3rd and 1 where they threw that back shoulder to Burks. I mean, this team thought and truly believed that they could win the football game. They came up just short. But, again, I go back to the same statement I opened the show with, that the days of us getting our teeth kicked in are over. And I thought that was the best quote, not just of the press conference, but maybe of this season from Coach Pittman. And we'll discuss it here coming up.
Looking forward to our chat with Tom as well. It's on the way. We're brought to you by Farm Credit. Farms, livestock, homes, that's their specialty, but they also can help you finance that recreational land. Maybe it's that 80 acres you have leased or that 240 acres you got leased right now for your family to hunt on. Maybe you got a chance to buy that. Well, they got a new loan product that makes financing all sizes of hunting tracts quick and easy with Farm Credit. They understand that hunting and fishing, it's part of what we love about Arkansas, and it's special to each and every one of us. Get by your local Farm Credit office. Let them help you finance that hunting land you've always wanted before next deer season or before spring's turkey season rolls around. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com.
Let's welcome in Charlie, who's in Camden this morning. He's got some thoughts on this Alabama game. Go ahead, Charlie.
What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me good?
Good morning.
All right. Well, listen, I'm so proud of this team, man. It was kind of depressing Saturday night afterwards, but I was more so just depressed for the kids. And I know that because they did go in there and they battled their butts off and they gave themselves a chance to win. We talked about getting into the fourth quarter, giving yourselves a chance to win. And even though I felt like the whole time Bama was going to pull it out for the most part, we had our chances. And that's the thing, that's the difference in Sam Pittman and, this staff compared to, even last year. Well, last year, was his first year. And I don't really even count last year because they didn't even have an off season. And last year they were more competitive. So, it's crazy what he's done in just 2 years there. And the amount of success that, they're in all these games. The only games they weren't in was Georgia. They could have won every other game. That's how close they've been. And I'm so ticked off at some of these fans because, they're calling for Art Brow's job. They're calling for, the defensive coordinator. And I'm like, they are doing the best they can with the talent that they have. It's utterly ridiculous. And it's like people want everything. They think these play callers are perfect, and they're just doing the best they can. They're trying to put these players in position to make plays. Is it perfect all the time? No, but, they're doing the best they can with what they have. They don't have all the 4 or 5-star talent that some of these other teams do. So they're winning with lesser talent, and what that does is that shows, some of these higher recruits. Hopefully we can start pulling in some better classes. Anyways, I'm proud of this team. They're so far ahead. I love their effort. Gave it everything they had. So anyway, I'll hang up and listen. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, I think Sam Pittman and his staff know that they have to hit the transfer portal hard, particularly on defense. You've got a good chunk of offensive pieces coming back, but defensively you're going to be pretty depleted after this year.
You know, it's close. Here's how Gary Danielson made this point at the end of the game. You know, if Arkansas gets the 2-point conversion against Ole Miss and they had found a way to beat Bama, they would be controlling their own destiny going into this week with Missouri as far as the division. That's how close it is. And then you look at the standings, and they're much closer to the bottom of the standings than they are at the top. But got a chance to pull it to 4-4 in league play, but that's how close the West was top to bottom this year, and also how close Arkansas really is. They're a few plays away from having a historic season.
Yeah. I want to go to, so before we get to Tom, I want to play this clip from Pittman real quick. Just talking about them learning from the experience in Athens to playing in Tuscaloosa.
We certainly have learned a lot. We learned from the Georgia game, and, we practiced what we learned from the Georgia game. And for the most part, we were much better tonight at those negatives that, we told our team about from Georgia. But they're two different teams and things of that nature. But I think it says a lot that we can go out on the road and play Alabama and make it a game, and that's what we did.
It is, and I know that some people think Georgia is by far and away the best team in college football. I think Alabama's closer to them than we think. Mm-hmm. So for them to do what they did in Athens, 37-0 to losing by 7, 42-35, shows you where they were just coming off a health standpoint and how much more they've improved to where they were this past Saturday.
See, I think it's more about mental, because what did you do to yourself in Athens? Well, you buried yourself in a 21-point hole like midway through the first quarter. You let a punt get blocked first score. You did so many things with the false starts early. You found yourself behind the 8 ball in Athens early in that ball game because of self-inflicted mistakes. You didn't make those mistakes on Saturday in Tuscaloosa, and you found a way to stay in the ball game by not burying yourself in the first quarter. That was the difference. I'm with you. I mean, Georgia's defense is far better than Bama's, but Bama's offense, I think, is far better than Georgia's. It's going to be a heck of a watch in Atlanta in a couple of weeks.
Here's the other thing, Tommy. You mentioned not turning the ball over. Arkansas had a 4th down stop. They had a Monteric fumble, forced fumble and recovery. Plus, Slade Bolden, we forget, Slade Bolden muffed that punt at the end of the second quarter. If Arkansas recovers that is a whole – we could be talking about a completely different ball game. But just like I said earlier, they did not take advantage of the few opportunities that Alabama gave them on Saturday.
All right, the Morning Rush brought to you by Liberty National Life Insurance Company for affordable life insurance protection for individuals, families, the self-employed, and small business owners. Call Liberty National Life Insurance Company today. 479-717-2860. That's 717-2860 for Liberty National Life Insurance Company.
Bringing our guy in, Tom Murphy, now to the Morning Rush. Tom, you look at KJ Jefferson this month. He's completing 76% of his passes, has been on a tear against Mississippi State, LSU, and this past week against Alabama. What do you think Kendall Briles has done this month to really make him feel comfortable in the offense as he continues to prosper?
Well, I just think it's a product of, and by the way, good morning, everybody. I just think it's a product of maturing, just knowing what the defense is showing, knowing where his reads should take him, and being comfortable, trusting his offensive line. It's a product of a lot of different things, believing in the system that you're running. And, there's been a few drops in that too. So KJ, I think KJ has every right to start next season in the talk of, best quarterbacks in the country, best quarterbacks in the SEC, because he's right on that pace. I think he's actually above 65% now. He's 66%. And I might have said this to you guys last week, but when Kendall Briles mentioned that during camp, that their target percentage for him was 65, I remember thinking, more like 60. And here he is at 66 with one game to go. It's been pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason that he's been really picking it up as of late is the guys around him, particularly Traylon Burks. But I thought Rocket Sanders and A.J. Green stepped up yesterday, and Traylon Smith. Smith comes in and runs hard and physical. A.J., there was a couple times he got stoned at the line of scrimmage, and he just willed his legs to the end. And then Rocket's catch in the fourth quarter with about a minute or so to go. You got to remember, Tom, Rocket played a lot of wide receiver in high school. What do you think about Kendall Briles using him more in the passing game based off that one catch that we saw in the fourth quarter?
This is a very, very talented running back core. And you can just tell Traylon Smith, doesn't want to be the second-team guy. He is running so hard And then the utilization of those guys, you compare it to the LSU game when they were just having trouble. They were having trouble picking off a linebacker and completing a swing pass to a running back, just to try to get 5 yards. There was some negative 1 yard receptions and stuff in that game. In this game, all the backs contributed. I mean, Dominic Johnson did not have his best game, but he did score the touchdown. It wasn't thought of as a touchdown upon first look by those officials. And then Traylon Smith ran hard. He had a couple of big runs right before halftime at LSU as well. A.J. Green, he is a phenomenal pass catch. You think about that Texas game, the way they outflanked, and he beat that linebacker. And Rocket Sanders, that little wheel route deal, that's a weapon. So I just think that this offense has grown and grown, and it's become formidable. And with KJ pulling the trigger and a veteran offensive line and Burks, this offense is for real this season.
Let's talk about Burks, because our last image of him from Tuscaloosa was being physically carried off the sideline to the bench and then leaving the field. I would say uncertainty about his availability for Friday on a short week would be merited. I know that Coach doesn't talk specifically about injuries, but we can talk about his impact on the game Saturday, playing through pain. Tom, it's a big blow if he's not going to be 100% go, and no one's 100%, but as able as possible for Friday for K.J. Jefferson in this offense.
Yeah, it would be huge because, that was his career high against him. I want to say 206 at Missouri last year, and when KJ just trusting him and dropping dimes on him. And he played through whatever this is. I don't know if he's got like a rib situation going on or if it's his shoulder or just what. Mm-hmm. They were non-specific. And I think they might have told the TV broadcast it was upper chest. So that might suggest rib more. So when he was down there on the onside kick, I remember thinking, oh, gosh, Little's going to kick it this direction. And there's always some blasting going on these onside kick deals. And Will Anderson, Burks had 1 foot still in bounds, but that was unnecessary roughness as hard as he blasted Traylon to the ground. Anyway, you hate to see it. I just don't know. We will definitely ask Sam Pittman what his status will be, and I'm sure it'll be a murky answer, and then hope that he can play.
So Burks has 8 catches on 9 targets, 179 yards, and 95 of those yards after the catch. I thought on Saturday, playing through the pain and all he went through against some of the best competition in the country, this might have been his biggest stock-rising game for the next level, Tom. Just NFL scouts, NFL GMs, NFL coaches want to know you've got a guy that no matter how bad he's hurting, he'll play through it. He proved that and checked that box off clearly for the NFL on Saturday.
Oh, big time. Yeah, and there were some scouts there. John Lynch from the 49ers, I wrote about it. He was there.
Oh, wow.
And that John Lynch and the Niners are looking at Will Anderson, but this tape will get around the league, and everyone will understand. You throw jump balls to this guy against some of the best corners, and he can come down with it, and he will play through the pain. I mean, you're absolutely correct. Check every box, and it's been so fun having Traylon Burks on this team.
Yeah, you're always going to be measured how you do against the best, and he measured up well on Saturday.
Yeah, he did, and he might have got away with a little bit of a push off, but after he caught that ball, there was still Josh Jobe behind him and some safeties running in pursuit, and he outran them all. I mean, that was an amazing touchdown.
Yeah, you just see Burks running. There's like 5 Alabama defenders there chasing him. There was no one. There was not a single part. Usain Bolt was not going to keep him from getting in the end zone. As we're talking with Tom Murphy here this morning. Tom, another guy that stood out to me during this game is Blake Kern. He had 2 one-handed snags, and here's a guy that has had some crucial drops this season. He could have had a touchdown in the A&M game, the back of the end zone from Lee Hornsby, and he's had some plays where you're just kind of scratching your head. But, I mean, he had 2 one-handed snags, one with his left hand, one with his right hand, including that fake field goal. What did you think about his impact in the game yet on Saturday?
Yeah, Kern, it's good to see that because you're right. He's had a few drops this year, and it's not just the A&M game, but a few others. But both were one-handed, right? And the whole fake field goal deal would have blown up if he doesn't just bring that in And I love it that a Bama player got screened by a ref, and they get the touchdown out of it. Boy, Sam was super happy on the sideline. And one more comment about Burks. On the NFL draft day, they always show a guy's highlights. So whoever Will Anderson is blowing up or pulling a beautiful swim move on, that team, the team that gets exposed. And for Burks, it's going to be a bunch of Bama guys chasing him, and how often does that happen? That's going to be beautiful on the day Traylon Burks gets drafted.
That's a good point.
I think a lot of teams, as you just said, watched him gut it through on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of people calling Sam Pittman and this staff about Traylon Burks. I know Kenny Guidon's done a really good job with him as well. I want to ask you a national question. The Florida job opens up. Dan Mullen and the Gators no longer a fit. Tommy and I were kicking this around earlier. We're both in agreement that LSU is the better job, but not by much. What does that do to college football with the Florida job, the USC job, the LSU job, the TCU job? I mean, there's so many marquee jobs open. What is that going to do for the sport in the offseason, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's a product of the times. The pay that these guys get is huge. The buyouts are huge. Unless in Jimbo Fisher's case, you negotiate that you don't have to pay a buyout. So it's the nature of today's college game that there's so much money involved. The marketing and the NIL, and I don't know if it's necessarily healthy, honestly. But these agents are loving it, and this is a pressure cooker deal. Who would have ever thought coming into this season, Florida was ranked in the preseason, that kind of misspeaking about what he thought of recruiting, and then some upset losses could turn so quickly, and he could go right into the hot seat. And even after the recruiting commentary, I thought, well, there's no way. I mean, they'll win some games down the stretch, and they surely won't part ways with Dan Mullen. This guy's got a proven record. He's almost a quarterback whisperer in some views. So maybe he just needs a little downtime and recharge his batteries. I don't know where he'll pop back up, but he's young enough to do it. But you're right. There's absolute marquee jobs. Florida's a little tougher because of the environment. But LSU, you are going to be measured against what you're doing against Alabama. Yes, you're blessed with great talent down there, but you've got to put it together. You've got to have phenomenal recruiting classes to have a shot at Bama. And this was a year where they did it in 19. Alabama was slightly vulnerable this year. They made a good run at them. But, we were talking to the guys at LSU, and it just seemed like after they won the championship, Ed got a little difference. Like he got filled up with that success and, a big contract and being a big man around town, and maybe lost a little bit of focus about, what it took, the grind it took to keep your team together, and I think that eventually cost him.
To me, the biggest differences in the jobs is Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State are three tougher teams than South Carolina, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. And the ability to win 9 or 10 consistently at Florida is just there more so than LSU.
Oh, yeah, that is absolutely the case. And I think the basically the inequity of the divisions is going to have to be resolved with the way they break up. What I'd like to see probably is 4 pods, but still 2 sides to it. And Hunter Yurchek told me in an interview just a few weeks ago that there's still, I want to say he said 9 plans still on the table about how they're going to schedule.
Wow!
But it's also critical in how you split them up because it's just unbalanced. If you're in the West, you don't have any automatic wins. And there are years like this year where Vanderbilt is so down that you do. And South Carolina's getting better. But early this season, they were easy to pick off.
Tom Murphy with us here on the Morning Rush. Tom, we really appreciate your time this morning. Any final thoughts on just NFL action we saw yesterday? Dallas Cowboys didn't get it done in Arrowhead. You had the Packers ended up losing the Vikings, a little shakeup of the NFC. The Ravens got it done at the last second against the Chicago Bears. Any notable news that you thought was worthy mentioning before we close you out here, NFL-wise?
Well, if I could drop this on you, I got in and I traveled yesterday, and then I had some work to do, and my wife and I did some pre-Christmas stuff. We're hosting for Thanksgiving this year. Really didn't put much of an eye on it, but here's my thoughts that carried me through the day. The Falcons cannot lose twice on the same weekend. We'd already lost on Thursday. We couldn't lose yesterday. So that made me relatively happy.
Well, Tom, have a great
That's all I got.
Have a great Thanksgiving with your family. We normally talk to you on Thursdays, but obviously we're all going to be chowing down on turkey. So why don't we push that back a day and we'll chat with you Friday in front of the Arkansas-Missouri game.
Man, that sounds like a plan. Sounds good.
We'll talk to you
then.
Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. So
We'll do it later in the day, too, since we'll have the 8 o'clock to 11:30.
Well, we're going to cover that later. But, yeah, we'll talk to him probably about 9:30 or something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, be good to have Tom on, though, right in front of the ball game on Friday. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Get by and see everything they got to offer, the best brands at the best prices, and we can do that all at Wheels. And they'll give you a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
And my thing's not doing it. Will you click that green one, please?
3rd and 4. Thank you. 3rd and 14. Now the ball comes out. Prescott was back to throw. The ball's out. Picked up by Chris Jones. Coming back to his right. And he's pulled to the ground at the 25-yard line. On 3rd and 14, the Cowboys went without a huddle and a quick snap. Frank, the Shark, Clark, able to get the ball sacked and out of there, and Chris Jones with the recovery. And the Chiefs just had a touchdown, and now the defense suffocates Dallas on its second possession.
I love when Mitch Holthus says Frank the Tank Clark. Again, you can hear that right here, ESPN 104.3, 95.3 for all the Kansas City Chiefs games. I know that is disheartening this morning for you as a Dallas Cowboys fan if you're listening to that, but for all you Chiefs fans, you're happy. Just an odd game. I know Tom didn't get a chance to watch it, but we both did. It's not the offensive output that we expected from those two squads. Anyone
not think of Will Ferrell when you say Frank the Tank, though? Going streaking through the quads, that's what I think about. But I was, is disappointed okay for yesterday's Chiefs? Not if you were, I know if you're rooting for the Cowboys, that's an easy one. I didn't really care who won the game yesterday, but I wanted to be entertained a little more. Hey, sit back. I'm like an Alabama fan. I got my arms folded, sitting back in my seat. Kentucky basketball fan. Entertain me, I didn't feel like we got the quarterback display and the quarterback shootout that I thought we were going to get yesterday.
Maybe you'll see a rematch in the Super Bowl. We'll have to see. I know our buddy Leonard, who's a big-time Dallas Cowboys fan, has yet to call me this morning and talk about how his Cowboys have lost 2 of the last 3. So they have to figure it out. McCarthy, once again, dude, y'all Cowboys fans, y'all got to figure out your head coach and timing, because he doesn't know how to use timeouts. Into the second quarter, you're just sitting there watching. And again, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I'm sitting there yelling at the TV saying, "What are you doing, McCarthy?" That is, clock management has been an issue all season for the Dallas Cowboys and Mike McCarthy. And if it continues to be this way, you're not going to win the Super Bowl. You might not even make it out of the first playoff game that you face this year, because we know the ante gets that much more difficult. And the Cowboys, Tommy, it looks less and less likely the way they played the last couple weeks that they're going to host for and have home field advantage. But we'll see. Long season ahead.
All right, we'll get to your hog headlines coming up. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. Man, I can't think of a better way to gather your family and get together on a Thanksgiving week than to do it at Gaston's. Wonderful view of the White River. Get to start and end your days fishing on the White River. Man, they got some great rainbows and browns that if you just check out their Facebook page and scroll through some of the pictures. In fact, I got a picture from one of our listeners over the weekend of a golden trout caught near Gaston's on Saturday, I believe it was, when I got the picture. So just some awesome stuff. Great family time. If you got grandkids or youngins in your household that you'd like to take out and really show them the beauty of our natural state and the White River, Gaston's is the place to call camp that week. Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Happy Thanksgiving from Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Eagle's Nest is coming in hot.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're from the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
So, Matt, check this out. 'Twas the night before game day, and all through the shop, everyone was excited the Hogs would come out on top. The stockings were hung on the goalposts with care, in hopes that a Razorback victory soon would be theirs.
Your dad side just won't go away, will it?
Nope, and you know what? It never will.
Folks, while Dad seems to be Dad, Christmas shopping has officially begun.
And everybody wants Razorback stuff for Christmas.
The Stadium Shop is the perfect place for all those Hog fans on your Christmas list.
Yep, Matt's right. Whether it's a t-shirt, sweatshirt, or fan cave stuff, the Stadium Shop has what all Hog fans want.
Razorback stuff!
So stop by 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium, or Matt, if you will, tell them about that interwebs WW stuff.
Sure. Our website is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479 Stadium, 479-782-3486. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
It's time to plan the Christmas party for your business or family. And the place to make it a special and memorable time is at Doe's Eat Place in Fort Smith. Award-winning steaks and atmosphere, along with the largest selections of adult beverages in the River Valley, await your evening. When you think about what to get that hard-to-impress boss or family member, gift certificates from Doe's are sure to impress. Don't delay. Call Doe's Eat Place at 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, open 5 till 9 Tuesday through Thursday and 5 till 10 Friday and Saturday.
The Peter Pender Zone of Wave Rural Connect is open. That fiber internet, phone, and TV service you've been hearing so much about is now available for areas south of the Arkansas River to Coxville, to east of Cecil, and over to Roseville, with amazingly fast internet starting at $49.95 a month. Call 1-833-4WAVE-RC or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com to get signed up. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities that we serve.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Bro! Your fridge is empty. You need to make a beer run.
Nah, bro. I just ordered my beer from Sodies on their new app. They're bringing the beer to me.
Yeah! Your favorite store for wine, beer, and spirits now offers delivery in the Fort Smith area. Order online at mysodies.com or on the Sodies app. Must be 21 or older and show ID upon delivery. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
So this one time at B-Dubs, a couple of friends came in for football, and they asked for the best seats in the house, which is kind of a trick question. Since we've got wall-to-wall TVs, you can watch the game in any direction. Kind of makes every seat in the house the best seat in the house. So when I explained all that, they just sat at the bar, because you got to be close to the beer on game days. Come into Buffalo Wild Wings for the absolute best game day experience the NFL can offer. Buffalo Wild Wings, to the greatest of all times.
Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Please drink responsibly.
Oh my gourd, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. This month, I want to say thanks. So I'm on a mission to make car buying easy as pie and help you snag a sweet deal on one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. This month, you could drive a nicer, newer car and save up to $4,150. That's a lot of dough. So if your old ride is flaky, crusty, burnt, or rusty, don't let it squash your happiness. Trade it for a nicer, newer car now, even if you still owe money, and save up to $4,150. Plus, my For the People approval process makes financing your nicer, newer car easy as pie. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Deals this delicious won't last long, so visit us today at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
Yes, sir. Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, a lot to get to here on our Hog Update. Arkansas opens up as a 15-point favorite against the Missouri Tigers. I thought that was a little high when I initially saw it come out, so I think some people are going to bet on Mizzou in this one. Not to win, but to at least cover. Arkansas soccer, Coach Colby Hale and his team move on to the Elite Eight after beating Notre Dame this week in the program's first ever Elite Eight appearance. Really happy for them and just what they've been, not just this season, but in recent seasons. I mean, you think about the SEC regular season championships, how they've just gotten to the SEC championship in the postseason 6 straight times. He has done a fantastic, masterful job with that soccer program.
Yeah, so maybe we can talk about a Final Four in soccer and a Final Four in basketball, and maybe we can talk about a couple Final Fours this year. So this is a program that seems to be kind of that next one to punch their ticket. I don't know enough about soccer, but just seems like they're right. I don't know enough about soccer to tell you all the great ones, but it seems like they keep running into Duke and North Carolina and those teams that are, and they played them early in the year, but those are the teams that seem to be problematic for them when they get to this point in the season.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with them moving forward. Arkansas basketball tonight, 8 o'clock is the designated start time. Probably guess around 8:15, 8:30 is when it ends up starting.
8:45.
It's going to be on hitthatline.com, ESPN Arkansas right here, also on ESPN News. Kind of surprised they're not throwing this sucker. What? I guess they got Monday Night Football, but I'm surprised it's not made it to, I guess the Manning cast is kind of taking over that role too.
So where else you going to put it?
Too. I guess at least.
I mean, you say you kind of news. Well, I guess the casual fan that doesn't care may not stumble upon it, but I mean, does it really make any difference if you're here watching the game? No, not really. But you're right. You're competing with Monday Night Football. That makes it difficult. There's a game in front of yours, so that's why I think that this game, if you tip by 8:30, you'll be lucky tonight.
I'll have one TV on as Tom Terrific takes on and hosts the New York Giants. Need 23 fantasy points from Tom, and then have this Arkansas-Kansas State game on as well. Now, they're 25th, Arkansas football in the AP poll. Tommy, my guess is they're going to be in the college football playoff rankings too tomorrow night. They're only 4-loss team in the AP poll, aka the best 4-loss team in all of college football. But I think a lot of people, we've talked about respect a little bit this morning. I think Arkansas feels like that they gained a lot of respect for their showing in Tuscaloosa despite a loss, and I don't expect them to be kicked out of the poll, losing to Alabama by 7 points on the road.
Oh, you could make the case they should move up. I mean, again, I know everybody's starving for respect, and some are hot that you moved down in the AP and coaches. I mean, the 4 losses is problematic when it comes to rankings and polls. But I don't. The way they played and the way they proved there are not 24 other teams better than them in college football. I don't believe there's 24 other teams that would beat them 8 out of 10 times on a neutral field.
So after a loss like that, it's difficult to put words together in the locker room, and Sam Pittman was asked about that following his team's performance, and here's what he said to his team in Tuscaloosa following the game.
Because there's a fine line in there about being proud of, and then you lose. But I'm a guy that's proud of our football team, so that's what I told them. Be hard not to be. We stayed in the game, had a chance to win the ball game, and we matched, I felt like, the physicality of what Alabama's known for. And I just told them the days of, getting kicked around, getting our teeth kicked in are over. And I think we proved that at least for a week, at least for this week.
And that was, again, Sam Pittman just kind of on the how his team reacted to that game. And Tommy, it's tough. Anytime that you lose a close one on the road in a game you felt like you should have won. When you look back to this game, they're going for the win. Fake field goals, throwing it on 3rd and 1s to Traylon Burks on a back shoulder throw. But 3 plays stood out to me that Arkansas didn't take advantage of. Monteric's forced fumble and recovery. You went 3 and out the next possession. You had the 4th down stop. You fumbled it the second play of that offensive drive. And then also Slade Bolden at the end of the second quarter muffs the punt. Malik Chavis is the closest one around it, and Slade gets back on top of it. 3 errors that Alabama made. You didn't make them pay for any of them. Not a single one.
But Arkansas still had, 5 or 6 drives. They went 75 or more yards in the ball game. Arkansas consistently moved the chains against Alabama more so than I think anyone expected or most opponents have done this year. I think, Arkansas had 21 first downs in the ball game. So
only 6 penalties, I think.
Yeah, 6 penalties. Alabama had 5. So, I mean, and several of those were still pre-snap penalties. Dalton Wagner lost sight of the snap count once or the sound of it. I know Arkansas' system, that's been a problem, but they were still like 2 or 3 pre-snap penalties that the Hogs had that they could still eliminate. But that's the difficulty playing in the road environment. So in the end, I think they met or exceeded 99% of the audience's and the fan base's expectations. And it's a good measuring stick of how close you were. Was that the best Alabama can play? I don't know. When you pass it for nearly 600 yards, I don't know how much offensively you can play much better than Bryce Young did. They didn't run the ball well, but they made up for it with the way they passed.
You got a couple texted, including Adam for Win, asking about the status of Traylon Burks. Last little update for you. Coach said after the game he's beat up. He didn't elaborate on that. I doubt he does in his press conference today coming up at 12. You're probably not going to know much about Traylon's status until close to game time on Friday. We'll have to wait and see. If we do get an update, we'll share it with you either on Halftime or Ruskin and Zach or on hitthatline.com. But as it stands right now, we don't really have an update on Traylon Burks' health status. Hopefully he's just beat up. That guy gutted it out, and he's easily my best of the weekend. And that's going to do it for your Hog Update, and it is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Here's a wild story I want to share with you. So a French goalkeeper, Tommy, had to go to the restroom mid-match. You mentioned soccer a little bit. The ref wouldn't let him, so he tried to pee on the field mid-game, and one of the sideline refs ended up catching and was ejected for peeing mid-game. I guess he caught a stream from his shorts. I don't know what happened, but have you ever had a situation where
so this wasn't he just...
No, this was mid-game.
No, I mean, but it wasn't he just whipped it out and started...
No, he didn't whip it out.
Okay.
He just tried to...
So in Europe, they're a little more free about that stuff, but I didn't know there was... Again, I didn't know there was a penalty for messing yourself.
Got sent out, apparently. So I think peeing at a pool's different. I can't think of a situation where I've soiled myself intentionally because I had to go so bad. Like pool, ocean, stuff like that. But
Wait, you pee in the pool?
We've done that before, haven't you?
No.
Never?
Maybe when I was like 5.
Well, I don't do it now, but I'm saying in the past, before. But I'm trying to think of
Note to self, don't invite Ty back to the pool.
A situation where you have to go so badly that you just do it on yourself. I can't think of that situation. Apparently, this French goalkeeper had to.
The only if you're at the beach, you're down at Destin or you're at Gulf Shores or whatever, you're not going back up, the 6th floor condo. You're just going to run out in the ocean. Let her rip, right?
That's I guess that would be a situation
for the old number 1.
Outside
now,
of
the old number 2, I'm going upstairs.
Still going upstairs. I'm glad you're not soiling our oceans, the Pacific or Atlantic around us to do that. But I thought it was a pretty funny story coming out.
I got pretty close a bunch of years ago down here at these railroad tracks.
Yeah.
It got touch and go there for a minute down there trying to get to the office. Hey, $15,000. We're giving it away. You can pay your rent or mortgage for the next year, courtesy of our friends Nick and Ellie Glidewell, real estate agents, and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage and Mountain Home. Go to hitthatline.com. Click on the tab that says free rent. You can enter once a day, every day, through December the 14th, and we'll give away $15,000 that you could use for rent or mortgage for the next year. From real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage and Mountain Home.
Best and worst coming up. We'll also discuss some of these calls from the Alabama game next on the Morning Rush.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Your company is known for top pay and great salaries, but how do your benefits compare to the competition? Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. In today's competitive labor market, great pay is no longer enough. Call me at 479-651-2292 and let's discuss your benefit plans to make sure your company has what it needs to attract and retain the best talent. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today, 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Tired of wearing contacts, glasses, or bifocals? Volt Vision of Northwest Arkansas has an option for you no matter your age. LASIK or clear lens exchange. Quick 15-minute procedure, easy 24-hour recovery, and freedom from contacts, glasses, and or readers. Volt Vision, that's VOLD Vision. Mention ESPN for $500 off your LASIK or clear lens exchange procedure. Volt Vision, the official eye care provider of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Are you a contractor needing some color picking help for your customers? The Paint Store in Van Buren will do that. We know what contractors need. We've done it for 33 years. Send your customers to us. We will take care of them in a friendly way. Let us do some work for you. Our blend of Richards paint makes the choice easy. The Paint Store in Van Buren is ready to help your customers right now. Call us at 474-4505 or stop by 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Hey, grounds guys.
Hey, what?
Leaves. They're taking over my yard, and it looks awful. I don't have time to take care of it, and I think my dog Fifi's buried under there somewhere.
Well, Amy, you called the right place. The grounds guys are here to help. We'll clean up your yard, bag up your leaves, haul everything away, and keep your yard looking nice all winter long.
Oh, thank you, grounds guys. You're the best.
Call the grounds guys at 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897 and say,
hey, grounds guys.
And get $25 off any fall or winter service. The grounds guys, serving Northwest Arkansas.
Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. We are running a sale that will save you hundreds of dollars. On top of that, we are having our Super Black Friday Plus sale all month long. Here's where the plus comes in. After saving hundreds of dollars on already marked down prices, get another 10% off on top of that. Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. Frank Row Furniture. Best seats in the house.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Oh my gourd, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. This month, I want to say thanks. So I'm on a mission to make car buying easy as pie and help you snag a sweet deal on one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. This month, you could drive a nicer, newer car and save up to $4,150. That's a lot of dough. So if your old ride is flaky, crusty, burnt, or rusty, don't let it squash your happiness. Trade it for a nicer, newer car now, even if you still owe money, and save up to $4,150. Plus, my For the People approval process makes financing your nicer, newer car easy as pie. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Deals this delicious won't last long, so visit us today at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
We have an area of high pressure taking on over and some tranquil but cool weather in the forecast for today. Plenty of sunshine with highs north into the mid-50s. We'll hit the upper 50s south. Clear for the overnight hours with lows ranging from the low to mid-30s. Sunny for tomorrow with highs low 60s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Who should you start on Sunday? Ty Richardson and Evan Gentry have the answers. Fantasy Football Sunday every Sunday from 10 to 11 a.m. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by The Fenceman. For custom-built fences, gates, and controlled access systems, call The Fenceman at 479-782-3936. The Fenceman, he ain't afraid of no work.
Bama's going to move to 10-1. Hogs are going to drop to 7-4 with the Battle Line rivalry game coming next week. Nick Saban out, Sam Pittman out. I promise you, these Razorbacks earned another measure of respect today, Quinn.
Yeah, they came to fight. The thing I like about this football team, they don't want to earn respect that way. They want to win these football games, and they're moving in the right direction. There's no doubt about that.
Well, the Razorbacks put 468 yards of total offense on the board, 35 points, but it is Alabama who clinches the SEC West with a 42-35 victory over the Razorbacks.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
Hit That Line.
.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So we got a great text in from Gary Thomas, who, for those who don't know who it is, he does the Hog Tunes cartoons, which are fantastic. One of my favorite things as a kid in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette growing up was whoever did the cartoons for them. And Gary's does a great job with his as well. And he sent us one of an elephant painted like a zebra, and it just says "On to Atlanta." I know Gary will post that on social media and stuff. If you're friends with him on Facebook or you follow Hog Tunes on Twitter, he does a great job. I would highly recommend it. But I know a lot of you have wanted this morning to discuss officiating. I think I have eight things that I wrote down that I was just kind of curious about.
All right.
And we will get into these coming up.
Oh, I can't wait. We're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. 5 miles west, like we said. Stop in for the best brands at the best prices and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Happy Thanksgiving from Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with our friends at Wheels RV.
Listening to Hog Reaction on the way home yesterday, driving back from Little Rock, and listening to the whole thing. And one of the calls that stood out to me was Forest City Joe and his opinion on officiating. Some of y'all agree, some of y'all disagree. Take a listen.
My Hog Reaction, and I've been listening to this show, is what planet are you two guys living on when it comes to these referees? I have seen and had enough. Auburn last year, Auburn this year, and now this BS today I saw. I'm telling you, this is my opinion, and I'm observing not from today, but I've observed it for years, and it's gotten worse under Greg Sankey since he became commissioner. Alabama and Auburn gets from these officials, because the SEC home office is based in Alabama, what they get from these referees is a disgrace. And I'm not going to mince words. I think they're corrupt.
Pretty strong words from our buddy Forest City Joe. Joe,
Take.
if you want to call in this morning, I'd love to hear your take again, and anyone's take at 877-377-6963. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 9 things I want to talk about. There were a couple of PI calls that I thought should have been called. I think they were both on Devion Warren, where he broke off from his defender, and the Alabama guys just grabbed him straight up. There was a play where KJ Jefferson is just kind of shaking his head, looking around, waiting on the flag. I think it was like 3rd and 6 early in the football game, if I remember that right. And I know Sam Pittman and Kendall Briles were frustrated about that. I know Alabama's handsy, they're physical, but I just thought there were a couple pass interference, particularly on that play, that stood out. And I looked at the official. I don't know if he didn't have a good angle, but I was just yelling at my television, what is he looking at? Because I thought it was pretty clear as day.
I thought there was some hand fighting and some holding. I agree with you, but I thought they had set a tone early in this ball game, and this was a game that only ended up with 11 penalties total. And I think it was one pass interference on Arkansas and one late on Bama. I thought the deep wings and the back judge made just a higher threshold in this game. They just weren't calling a lot of contact as pass interference. So I agree with what you're saying, but that would have probably opened up 4 or 5 more plays to be ruled as pass interference throughout the ball game that weren't as well. I thought there was some contact going both ways. You had a ton of passing attempts in this ball game, and I thought for the most part, both ways, they pretty well let a lot of things go.
That's the thing I had down, which Philip replies in. And again, you can text these in as well at 877-377-6963. There was an intentional grounding call on KJ Jefferson, which didn't make a lick of sense to me. There was either a receiver or running back in the area, and for whatever, I've seen that play 100,000 times where a quarterback just throws it in the dirt. There's a guy in the area, and they've never called it. Okay. Inexplicably, in Tuscaloosa, somehow, some way, one of the officials decided that opportune moment was a great time to throw that flag that I've watched 100,000 times over the course of the football games I've seen.
All right, listen to me real close. All right, pay attention. Don't be thinking about your rebuttal. Look at me. Look me in the eye. All right, listen. Are you listening?
When are you about to say it was a bad call?
Correct call, bad flag. Correctly called, bad flag. Terrible time. I mean, I agree with you. Do not need to have that. Was KJ Jefferson intentionally grounding that ball? Look at that play and tell me, was he truly
Tom Brady does it every game.
KJ Jefferson's not Tom Brady, number one. Number two, he had zero intentions of trying to get that ball to Burks. But you don't call that. You are 1,000% correct. That is never called. Burks was in the area. He qualified, met the threshold, and I think in most people's opinion, and if you'll look at the end zone angle, the referee is pointing to Burks. The white hat, Lee Hedrick.
Then
He's
pick
pointing
the flag up.
I'm with you. So for all the times you say, well, you always saw, I think it was a bad flag, but it was
then
correct.
Pick it up.
Well, I'm with you, but he was he trying? Be honest, be objective. Was he even trying to get that ball to Burks?
It doesn't matter. It happens every game.
You're not answering my question.
Every game I see that play. I have never seen that
again,
called
I'm on
in
your
a
side
single
here.
game. But what happens in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, when you're playing the Crimson Tide, it gets called against you. It's absolutely BS. I want to fill in the full blank. It's atrocious. It's unbelievable.
I won't. Again, I don't think he was making any attempt to actually get the ball to Burks.
I don't
but
either.
Burks is close enough. That flag should have never been dropped.
And then the Dominique Johnson just sitting, waiting in the end zone like he's in water, just kind of sitting there looking at the refs, call me a touchdown. He could have phoned in an order of pizza as long as he was in the end zone.
Talk about the one after Warren Thompson?
Yeah, which should have been a touchdown to begin with, too.
All right, so let's discuss Warren Thompson's play first. Let's take him in order. What was your thoughts on the angles that were shown on replay? What was your – now take your Razorback glasses off. What did you objectively see
I always hear
when you looked at Warren Thompson's play, particularly with the pylon cam angle, what did you see?
They always say, you always say the same thing, clear and indisputable evidence. They called it a touchdown on the field, right, y'all?
Mhm.
And
it sure looked like one full speed first look.
Yes,
It absolutely
and then they
looked like a
replayed
touchdown.
it. To me, that ball is about as close as it can get, the nose of the football, to being over the touchdown. There's no chance that you pull that. If Alabama is in that exact same situation, Bryce Young finds John Mechie and he comes up, what was called just short, no chance they rule that stopped at the goal. There is not a chance on God's green earth that they put that ball
That's not
at
what I
the
asked you. I
half-yard
asked
line.
you what you saw.
I said the same thing to Drew before we came on. The nose of the football looked like it was over. Not the entire football. This one of the ones where Dominique Johnson was 10 yards in the end zone. It looked like the nose of the football was at the goal line. And it doesn't have to cross the threshold. It's just got to be in that line.
Correct.
And that's to me, it was
I
not
thought
clear and indisputable. It's what you always come back to, clear and indisputable. There's no chance that was clear enough for them to say, you know what, put the ball back on the half-yard line.
I'll disagree with you on that one because I think they clearly showed an angle on CBS after about couple of minutes. They finally got to the pylon cam angle, and there was where they had a freeze frame with the knee down and the ball clearly short. So I don't have as big a problem with Warren Thompson's the overruling on that because I think they did show indisputable video evidence of the ball short with the knee down.
All right, with Dominique Johnson's, I get it how one ref couldn't see it, but to me, I don't understand how both refs couldn't see that he was clearly in. It wasn't just one, it was both. And a lot of times, I get it. One guy can't see it on one pylon, the other guy can. But he is just sitting a yard and a half in the end zone, just sitting there.
Well, he's standing, but he's not sitting.
He's just waiting on them to throw a touchdown. And you see KJ and Ricky and Coach and all them ticked off. Now, they did correctly call it. I'll give them that. If they wouldn't have, I would have broken the TV that I was watching the game on and just stopped watching it. But I don't know what they're looking at in that situation. Like, for both of them not to have that called a touchdown doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
Well, I wish we were on TV here where we could pull it back up and look at it. There's an adage or a philosophy in officiating, and in football, you've got to earn the goal line, right? You don't just give touchdowns out. You've got to earn a touchdown. And when you look at that play, there's no question he was in the end zone when you have the overhead angle, but there isn't an overhead official, right? So if you're looking at the angles coming down the sidelines, you can't find the ball. You can't, I can't, the officials can't because the camera can't see it either. There's so many players, and the reason is that it's a middle run. There's so many players, and sometimes those are the hardest plays to actually find the football. He runs in, he can't find it. He ruled it short. Now, it was incorrect, and the overhead angle in replay is the only one that really conclusively gave you evidence that, yes, he's in the end zone because his full torso and body was over the goal line.
You got Russell.
But you couldn't. I mean, you can't look at those angles that the wing officials have and say, well, there's the football, because it's just the video just doesn't show it.
Hunter Yurchek, there's a great clip that Russell Shapp got of him telling, what the hell are you looking at the refs? And listen, I love when your AD wants to win as much as your head football coach. And I personally love that because he is about as intense an athletic director as it gets. These other guys are suited up in the press box, having cocktails, and Hunter's on the field, and he wants to win the football game. All right, a couple more before we take Forest City Joe's call. Jamison Williams' catch in the back of the end zone. What a throw from Bryce Young. Got to give him credit where credit's due. Jamison is one of the best wide receivers in college football, but the ball bobbled, right? You have this ref that, and we talked about prior to the show, but he waited to call a touchdown when Jamison showed him the ball.
This is probably the play I have the most problems with, and it's not the ruling that the replay booth made, it's the ruling that was on the field that was made. And let's go back to how this play was worked. And if you look at it, the back judge gets beat badly on the play, beat to the goal line, then beat to the back line, and he's looking, he never gets a look at this play. So I did not like the way the play was worked at all. And the ruling on the field was going to stand either way. I didn't think the video evidence was there on replay to overturn a call on the field either way. I think the official on the field never had an angle, and he guessed at the touchdown call. Look at where he comes from from the end zone to the back line and just rules it a touchdown.
So hold on. I just want to make sure. You can't guess that Arkansas scored in the end zone with Dominique Johnson. But that official, just to be clear, guessed that Jamison Williams, the Alabama wide receiver, was in the end zone. and
saw
scored.
the foot drag, and he did not have a look at possession.
But he didn't see a lick of where that ball ended up on the ground or not. So just to be clear, the official in an Alabama scoring situation guessed that Alabama scored a touchdown.
Hang on. My opinion is he guessed.
Okay. He did guess, because you're right. He 100%.
My opinion is
he couldn't see the play.
He couldn't see the ball.
You
just look at the video of where he starts and where he ends up. My opinion is he was guessing on possession. He was looking at the feet to see if they were in bounds. He had no look at the ball. That's my opinion.
So just to be clear, he guessed about an Alabama touchdown and gave it to him. But both officials, when Dominique was clear in the end zone, they couldn't guess that he was in the end zone. Just want to make sure about that.
So you want him to start guessing? Is that?
Well,
let me be clear.
Apparently
are
he
you,
did
are
for the
you
Alabama
advocating
guy.
for guessing?
Just on Arkansas plays, because apparently they do it apparently did on the Alabama plays.
I don't have my Arkansas glasses. Let me put my Arkansas
apparently
glasses
you can
on.
do it on the Bama play.
Let me look at the play through my Arkansas glasses real quick.
And this was a play that happened early on in the game, and I had it down last. I probably should have had it on it first. I think it was a third down play where Burks gets his helmet almost taken off when the Alabama defender, I forget what safety it was, comes over and clearly helmet to helmet hits him in the head, which, correct me if I'm wrong, you can...
Was this the one that went to replay for another reason and then that
for
could have been picked up?
And they could have picked it up, right? You can pick that up, right?
It can be the only foul that replay can initiate, the only foul that the booth can call with no call on the field is targeting.
What were they looking at? That is the definition of targeting. Burks is getting tackled by another guy. This Alabama safety or linebacker, I can't remember who it was, comes over and just pulverizes him. Helmet-to-helmet contact. It's clear as day. How are you not throwing that guy out of the game? It's right
Well, it's clear.
there.
Hang on. Let me get my glasses back on. Well, because he's in Alabama. He's an Alabama player. Let me put my fan hat on.
What explanation do you have?
Well, it's corrupt.
You see it.
It's corrupt. That's the. Oh, hang
but
on.
You don't have an. What's the explanation?
Back off. Hang on.
What's the explanation? Seriously.
Got these Razorback
what
glasses
is the explanation
on. I get a different perspective
for an
with those
Alabama
on.
safety coming over and cleaning Burks' clock? Them having the ability to throw him out of the game for something that has been condemned. If Arkansas did that, if Joe Fouché came over, if Miles Slusher came over and did that to Jamison Williams or John Mechie, they wouldn't be allowed back in Alabama. But because an Alabama safety came over and hit your All-American, your best player, the refs just saying, no. Greg's like, don't look at that. Don't do that.
Greg Sankey said
it's okay. He said, no, because we have a financial incentive for Alabama to get to the college football playoff. And the only way that they can get there is if they beat Arkansas, they beat Auburn, and they somehow beat Georgia. There is no
let's
chance
be on top
that
of it. Greg Sankey exactly
one
of the top
embarrassing. This is supposed to be the highest paid officiating crew in all of college football, and they still can't get the simplest of calls right. If that's
that's the simplest of calls?
What was that a targeting or not? Was that a targeting or not? Am I blind? I've got 20/20 vision. I don't have to wear glasses.
Yeah, but you're not
it's
objective.
Right
but
there.
You may have good vision, but you're not objective.
Was it a targeting
you're
or
not
not?
Objective.
You still haven't. Was it a targeting or not?
I know.
Why are you? Because you know the answer.
Because I just don't think it's that simple.
Tommy, it was right there. Okay. Now, initially, they didn't call it at the beginning, which
if it was that obvious, why did it go uncalled on the field?
I just told you. It's Alabama. I just told. Now, I didn't have people were clamoring and angry about the Will Anderson. That Will Anderson hit. Burks is going for the ball. It was just a big hit.
And he's inbounds.
And he had 1 foot inbounds, 1 foot out. That to me was not as big of a deal. It was a big hit. It was a clean hit. He didn't hit in the helmet. He just hit him in the shoulder and the chest. And I know Burks, that's your guy. I didn't have a problem with that. But that one early on in the football game is a disgrace. An absolute abject disgrace. And listen, you should be angry on Monday morning. You should be proud of how the team played, and you should be ticked off that they didn't take advantage of some of Alabama's miscues. But those plays that we just went through, some I think you elaborated and went well on, but there is no chance
but there's nothing listen, as fans, we're never going to be objective. We're never going to see it anything other than through a fans' lens and a fans' 20/20 perspective. But I give you reasonable explanations on some of these plays why they haven't. You don't want to hear them.
But I think I've been pretty cordial until that last play, and you still haven't answered. You thought it was
because I need to go back and look at that particular one again.
I mean,
I spent most of my time really focusing on the catch or no catch in the back of the end zone.
And I laid them out. And I thought you did a good job on that. But to me, that was right there, and it was front. Now let's hear what Forest City Joe has to think.
Before we get Forest City Joe, I just want to say this one more time.
Go ahead.
And I know Forest City Joe is going to say the exact same thing and try to
it's all corrupt. They're
me
paid off.
The fix is in. I can tell you exactly what they are talking about right now in Gainesville, Knoxville, Auburn, Tuscaloosa, Baton Rouge, Columbia, other Columbia, Lexington, College Station. They're all talking about officiating right now. I'd bet my last dollar on it. It's not that there's a fix. It's that officiating is just bad because it's part-time. It's a part-time job.
Ryan Fowler, Jay Barker,
when they called the holding call on Bama and the PI on Bama, they rained down boos. What do you mean?
If it wasn't for the officiating, they're saying in Tuscaloosa, Bama would have won by 23.
Oh, yeah.
They would have destroyed Arkansas. The refs had to fix to get the Hogs to be close because Sankey wants a balanced league. He doesn't want Alabama to ruin everybody.
Forest City Joe, you
financial interest.
You got a minute and a half, man. Go ahead.
Terry Richardson, thank you for doing this segment. You just did. Tommy Kraft.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you just what I asked those guys the other day. What planet are you living on?
Planet Earth, baby.
You're
the great United States of America, baby.
You're a high school ref. I realize that. But let me tell you something. That garbage that I saw Saturday was a disgrace to the game of college football. Yes, they're biased. And they're biased towards teams like Alabama, while the SEC is trying to get 2 teams in the college football playoff. I hope Georgia curb stomps them. To sit there, for you to sit there and pretend like that, oh, well, this is objective. We're just saying these things because we're not objective. Please, man. Did you see the Florida game a few years ago when Bob Petrino was coaching?
Yeah, 2009.
Did you see this game, Terry? What planet, Tommy Kraft? Ray Charles could see this.
See what?
I mean, for you to sit there and pretend like, oh, it's just a pitch, and on the play that Ty's talking about, you say, oh, well, it was a lot of hand fighting. While the guy just grabs baby armor, that's not hand fighting. That's a guy reaching out, grabbing the guy. What are you talking about that that's hand fighting? That has nothing to do with hand fighting. The guy reached out and grabbed the man and stopped him from running his pilot. And the referee was standing right there looking at him and refused to call it. Dominique Johnson.
He's too busy cashing the check, Joe. He's too busy
doing the Lord's work, Joe.
He's just too busy
doing
cashing
the Lord's
check.
work. You see what I have to deal with?
Best kept corrupt secret in America.
Alabama gets everything.
Everyone's in on it.
Anyway,
so done.
Even me and Tommy, you didn't know me and Tommy are taking a paycheck for trying to cover it up.
I mean, I'm cashing.
Yesterday.
I'm cashing Sankey's checks.
We got
too.
bonuses from what we're saying today.
Absolutely. So, hey, what do you want? I'm going to use that check to buy me another hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. Now's the time to relax over the holidays and certainly enjoy the winter months. A great way to start or end your day is in your hot spring spa. I've got the Envoy. You'll love it as well. It's got the captain's chair and the lounger in it. You can choose from 36 different models. Looking online first at burtonpools.com or see them in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Talk more Arkansas, Alabama, plus Chiefs and Cowboys coming up. Stay with us. It's The Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
That we serve.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh my gourd, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. This month, I want to say thanks. So I'm on a mission to make car buying easy as pie and help you snag a sweet deal on one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. This month, you could drive a nicer, newer car and save up to $4,150. That's a lot of dough. So if your old ride is flaky, crusty, burnt, or rusty, don't let it squash your happiness. Trade it for a nicer, newer car now, even if you still owe money, and save up to $4,150. Plus, my For the People approval process makes financing your nicer, newer car easy as pie. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Deals this delicious won't last long, so visit us today at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
ESPN 95.3.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Jefferson going to throw a fade to Burks, caught at midfield, trailing inside the Bama 40. He's got a chance to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Who should you start on Sunday? Ty Richardson and Evan Gentry have the answers. Fantasy Football Sunday. Sundays from 10 to 11 a.m.
I was trying to find this clip during the break, but for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't have it. You've seen the A-Team, right?
Like
the movie, not the old TV show.
Mr. T?
Yeah, Mr. T. So you got the old TV show, which I've heard is fantastic. Some point
Yeah.
I want to watch it once I get done with Yellowstone and Married with Children. But you've got the newer movie. It's got Bradley Cooper, Liam Neeson, and Jessica Biel.
I need to bring some A-Team in here with you.
So
Shut
he,
up, fool.
he goes,
Shut up, fool.
There's this scene where in the courtroom and the court, they're getting court-martialed, and Hannibal Smith, played by Liam Neeson, is just keeps saying, "This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace," and this is how I feel about the officials giving Alabama seemingly every call this Saturday. But we'll like to reflect a little bit. We got some callers here, like John and
you
Branson.
got them all riled up here.
That's what you got to do some mornings, especially
Pandering
on a
to the
Monday.
base, yes.
So
hopefully you get 40 more Twitter followers out of it. That's what it's all about.
I did gain a lot of social media.
That is all it's about with most members of the media, is just trying to get more follows.
I hope you enjoyed those.
Not
likes,
being
you
honest,
sell
not
out.
being objective, but just selling out and pandering.
I don't
to
know
the
what they
base.
taught you on the Hill, but in my journalism classes, it was all about integrity and non-biasness. And honestly, Ty, you couldn't pay me enough to care just to report. I report facts.
So if you found out that Memphis was under investigation for embezzling money or something with the athletic program, based on what you just said, you'd report that, right?
Of course.
You'd make sure that your program burned to ashes.
Of course.
Okay. I just wanted to
It's
make
called
sure.
journalism integrity.
Just wanted
you
to
should get
rectify
some.
that.
Fair and objective, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
learn that in 101.
It is potluck day here at the Morning Rush Studios.
Yes, it is.
And we've already had some sausage balls. People are hauling stuff, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a big day here. One of the good things about duck hunting, Ty, is, well, you're going to eat well. At duck camp, sometimes you take some good snacks out to the duck blind itself. And the 86th Annual World Championship Duck Calling Contest and Wings Over the Prairie Festival is coming up this weekend, the 26th and 27th.
Yeah, Duck Gumbo, if you have not had a chance to go to it, I unfortunately, because we have work, miss it every year, but this whole thing down at Stuttgart, Arkansas, Thanksgiving weekend, it is worth every bit of your time. They have so many things. They've got the Duck Gumbo, where it's the Michelob Ultra Duck Gumbo Cook-Off. They've got a beer tent. They've got activities for kids. They have all these different things. And Tommy, again, it's this.
Had me at Gumbo and Deer Tent.
I know, man. It is awesome. And for those who have been, you can attest everything that I'm telling you. And it's, again, this Friday and Saturday, and you can learn more about it.
Yeah, go to stuttgartarkansas.org, and that's the way it's spelled. Just Stuttgart in the forward, arkansas.org, or call 870-673-1602. That's the 870-673-1602 for this weekend's Wings Over the Prairie Festival in Stuttgart.
John and Branson, you're up next, buddy. Go ahead. You're on the Morning Rush.
Hey. Yeah, I was listening. I love the show. You guys are definitely the best show on the agenda that ESPN has. But, the talking about this, is like there's a bigger lesson here that we can see, and that, we're all looking for whatever the truth is. There's only one truth, whether it's in sports or it's in politics. We see this all the time, where, it's people's interpretation of the truth. And the one reason that they do reviews and so on is so that they can get to become better educated, so that they can make a better decision. And that's in life and everything, and the other side is that there's corruption in everything. That's something that we've seen from politics to, on down to special interests and monetarily motivated. And to say that that's not there is putting on blinders.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well,
I'm with you. Absolutely,
John brings up a great point, because what he's saying is when you don't get the outcome you want or desire, you go looking for other reasons, and then it always comes back to why it's somebody else's fault.
And there's corruption and everything. So is Tommy benefiting by keeping me down? I mean, he's the man, isn't he?
Keeping you down. What do you mean?
I mean, if there's corruption in everything, in every aspect of life,
How are you being kept down?
I don't know, but according
I
to,
can't help if you're a Memphis fan. That was what you did.
According to John, somebody is trying to keep to keep me down.
Only thing we know
Right?
for
There's
sure is
corruption.
Memphis refuses to play Arkansas in basketball. That's the only thing we know. That's
everything to lose, nothing to gain.
I can't wait to clean Penny Hardaway's clock in the NCAA tournament.
Why would we play you?
Oh, it's
going
to be absolutely glorious to watch him in disgust. They're going to be so highly ranked heading into the NCAA tournament. To watch them lose early on to Arkansas, for Arkansas to avenge that loss in either 92 or 93 is just going to be it's just going to be a chef's kiss. And for me to get to come in Monday morning and have you cut all this Arkansas Memphis audio of JD Note and Chris Likes and every one of their players just banging 3 after 3 is just going to be
let me just introduce you to a 17-year-old by the name of Amani Bates.
It is going to be
who will be a number 1 draft pick next year. He's still got 2 years.
Arkansas is going to contain him. Not worried about it.
He's 17.
He's a bum.
And he's averaging 19 points right now. Yeah. Just watch on Wednesday against Virginia Tech. You'll thank me later.
Virginia Tech. Well.
Ooh, Kansas State. I can do things too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun basketball season if they beat each other in the NCAA tournament.
I'm ready for it. I'll be so obnoxious.
Hey, we're brought to you by Boston Scientific. Did you know 1 in 9 men can be diagnosed with prostate cancer during their lifetime? Usually, treatment options come with side effects you don't want, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, Space OAR Hydrogel can help you minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. Learn more online at spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. SpaceOAR.com, brought to you by Boston Scientific.
Still a lot to discuss here, and obviously a lot of you are still texting in on this Alabama-Arkansas game, and we'll also get into your SEC update. There were some other SEC games that we'll get into this weekend as well.
Hey, still some great giveaways. Go to hitthatline.com. We're giving away $15,000 free rent and mortgage. We're also, starting today, giving away a couple of great bikes just in time for Christmas from Champion Cycling in Fort Smith. Enter at hitthatline.com. You can win a Specialized Elise road bike or a Specialized 12-inch Rip Rock. Both with helmets that you can win from Champion Cycling. They're on Mazard Road in Fort Smith. Find your chance to enter online at hitthatline.com.
Brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Eagle's Nest is coming in hot.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This year's Value Bonanza sales event at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Baum County, Northwest Arkansas gives you more ways to save. Save big with 0% financing and cashback offers on select New Holland tractors, hay, and forage products, and materials handling equipment. These offers end December 31st, so make the trip to Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Baum County, Northwest Arkansas today. You get more choices and more savings when you buy during Value Bonanza. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required.
What does everybody want this year? Their very own hot tub. Hot Spring Spas makes every day better. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith have the very best deals on hot spring spas. Supplies are very limited, so let Burton Pools and Spas know that you want one and claim your hot tub. Choose from over 36 models. They are already ordered and waiting for you to pick yours out. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
A huge selection of hard-to-find toys, all 20% off. Black Friday will never be the same. The Party Place is having a gigantic 2-day sale. Popular hard-to-find toys, 20% off. Calico Critters, Plus Creation, Playmobil, Air Force, musical keyboards, vet sets for that animal-loving child, magic kits, and so much more. 2 days only. Black Friday and Small Business Saturday at the Party Place. In Rogers, Conway, and Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Oh my goodness.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. It's not too early to start thinking about that special someone on your list. So stop in now and check out their great selection of in-stock inventory. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. For all of your golfing needs, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith.
Oh, wow!
Bro! Your fridge is empty. You need to make a beer run.
Nah, bro. I just ordered my beer from Sodies on their new app. They're bringing the beer to me.
Yeah!
Your favorite store for wine, beer, and spirits now offers delivery in the Fort Smith area. Order online at mysodies.com or on the Sodies app. Must be 21 or older and show ID upon delivery. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Wherever work takes you, we've got you. The BF Goodrich Trademan Support Program. Get a $70 rewards card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new BF Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. You also get a $60 satisfaction guarantee and 24-hour worksite or roadside assistance. Southern Tire Mart just off of I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. BF Goodrich Tires and best-in-class service. See bfgoodrichtires.com/tradesman for complete details. Offer expires 12/31/2021. Void where prohibited.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to ashley.air.com to request service today.
All right, so Arkansas, we know, lost to Alabama. But really the biggest news that I would say from college football this week was Dan Mullen getting let go by Missouri. Scott Strickland, the Florida athletics director, was asked, and he said there's no current timetable. We just want to make sure we get the right coach. And I don't know who that is going to be. I know that a lot of Florida fans are wanting Bob Stoops, Big Game Bob, to be their head football coach. I don't know if he wants to get out of the Fox College football booth and back into the rigors that is recruiting, especially down there in Florida where you're having to fight off Saban and Kirby and all those guys. But I'd be really curious to see who the Gators end up hiring as their next coach.
Is there no movement to bring Urban Meyer back yet? That his name seems to pop up around every big job, right?
I have not seen Urban Meyer's name.
Get him to move from one side of Florida. Well, it wouldn't be that far. I mean, Jacksonville to Gainesville is not that far.
Not too bad.
It's not across the state.
Yeah, not too bad.
Across the not even the panhandle. The kind of the neck of the panhandle there.
Some of the games that stood out from this weekend: South Carolina upset Auburn. You also had Missouri upsetting Florida in overtime. Ole Miss did not look impressive at all against Vanderbilt. They only won by 2 touchdowns, but other games were just kind of laughers. You're playing a bunch of non-conference teams, don't really care. It's Cupcake Week in the SEC. And I think Danielson and Nessler said on the broadcast, Arkansas-Alabama might have been the best game of the day. He said, I don't know if there's going to be much better games than this. I mean, Ohio State just swatted Michigan State.
Going into the game, that was a better game,
yeah,
but not the actual contest.
The actual outcome itself. Right. Oregon ended up losing to Utah. Those were the only top 25 games. So to me, when Nessler said this might be the best game of the day, and based on the outcome itself, not the preview cursor of the game, I think he was onto something.
I'll be interested to see when the TV ratings come out. What kind of audience did this draw? With nothing else really on, did this get you 6 or 7 million viewers, which would be a high number because you were on CBS, or was this more of a cable number in the 3 or 4 million viewers range?
I'll tell you,
Alabama always brings an audience because they're Alabama, but the game was competitive throughout, so did the audience hold and result in a higher number. It may be the most watched game of the weekend by the time it comes out.
Tommy, Arkansas could have wilted. They're down 17 in the third quarter, and they just came storming back. This team, they got kicked in the mouth several times for that Alabama offense, and they just refused to quit. A team that kind of got kicked in the mouth yesterday was the Dallas Cowboys. Former LSU running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire ended up scoring with Travis Kelce as well.
Michael Burton in at fullback. Allegretti in as an extra tackle over tackle blocker. It is first down and goal to go. The Chiefs will run a reverse option pitch. They pitch it wide. Clyde Edwards-Helaire angling right. Touchdown, Kansas City.
I love Holthus when he says it in that particular way. Now, I don't know. Okay, so Will Anderson had an outstanding game against you in Arkansas. What would be he's in that kind of Micah Parsons category, the outstanding Dallas outside linebacker from Penn State. But you think about the quarterbacks. You've got Patrick Mahomes is getting rushed at. Now, Gregory and Lawrence, I think, were both injured yesterday, so he didn't have as much. But Parsons still gunning for you. And then the other side, Dak's getting rushed at by Frank the Shark Clark, as Mitch likes to call him, and then Chris Jones Jr. That is a scary situation if you're an opposing quarterback, and those guys lived in Dallas's backfield all day yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this game was a lot more about defense and pass rush than it was about offense and quarterbacks showing out. And defense has definitely won the day. I was wanting 38-35, 45-42, something where each quarterback had 4 or 5 touchdown passes, and it just was not that kind of offensive display yesterday. Too much settling for field goals for particularly the Cowboys.
Jordan Davis ended up scoring on Saturday for the Georgia Bulldogs, so maybe that helps his Heisman odds if he's scoring offensive touchdowns too. I don't know if Kirby Smart's going to try and do that against Alabama, the big nose tackle for Georgia, but I did find that kind of entertaining to see him get on the board. And that is going to do it for your SEC update, brought to you by Ashley Air.
Yeah, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Ashley Air, it's the one you want. Schedule your service appointment today at ashley.air.com.
I don't want to play this sound, but I do want to. There was a lot of good and bad from the weekend. I know the result is not what you wanted, but I just want to say this about Traylon Burks, the outstanding wide receiver for the University of Arkansas, the former Warren Lumberjack. That's their mascot, right?
Yep.
Lumberjack. Mm-hmm. He gave up his body, mind, and soul for this football team on Saturday. Has 8 catches, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, outran 5 Alabama defenders for the end zone, which was just awesome. Now, a status update, Coach told us after the game that he's beat up. I don't know if he's going to play against the Tigers. I would hope so to close out his last regular season game, most likely in a Razorback uniform. You'd love to see him show out in that one. But, I mean, Tommy, you could see, I think every part of his body was aching. And there's his wrist, shoulder, collarbone. I know during the game broadcast, we've got updates from the CBS crew. I know Chuck and Quinn kind of shared it as well. But that guy just wanted to win that football game. And that's one of the most, Eddie in Clarksville was texting me, that's one of the most impressive individual performances that we've seen on the road since Darren McFadden in 2007 against LSU.
You know, you played at 2:30, which was better than a night game from this standpoint. By nightfall had already come when you left Tuscaloosa, but by the time the end of the night came, you had Traylon Burks back in your own training facilities in Fayetteville. Mm-hmm. So you get off the plane, you can start treating him, you get those extra hours there. You got a short week, you got a holiday. He's I don't know how much he's going to be able to practice, but they're going to have to work to get him in shape on a short week ready to go to be effective.
Didn't think about that. That's a good point.
So being in one of the earlier games of the day at 2:30 helps you to get just those few extra hours of recovery right now. And you could just see by the way they almost literally scraped him off the sideline back to the bench after that onside kick that he's just beaten up. And you can't win with. I just don't think you can win without him. I think he's that important of a player, even if he doesn't have a huge amount of catches, which we saw against LSU. The value of what he does in bringing the other team's defensive focus to him opens up many opportunities for his teammates. So without him on the field, it's a much different dynamic for this team.
And I think that looking at Traylon, I think he's going to, if he plays in this game or in the bowl game, he's going to be able to bust 1,000 yards. Now, I'm curious to see what he decides to do on this bowl game coming up if he elects to play or not. If I had to guess, I think Traylon's going to play. That's just a guess. That's no inside information or knowledge on that. But he's got 994 yards right now, Tommy. So he just needs 6 yards for 1,000. I don't know if that's notable to him or if that's something he wants. But
because there's only been 3 other Razorbacks to do that, right?
Kobe, Anthony, and Jarius.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, you want – you don't want to go back to your hometown and be that close, and you got some other guys from your hometown that have done it. You want to be on that list, number one. But, yeah, they're going to – I think he'll play against Missouri, and whether he plays the whole game, I don't know. I'm just thinking if he gutted it out for Bama, he'll gut it out for this one. On senior – I know he's not a senior, but senior day, final home game –
they'll treat him like a senior.
Correct. So it'll be his final performance most likely in the state of Arkansas. So I just don't think he's going to miss this. Even if he's not fully ready to go, can't play the whole game, he's going to suit up and go.
No. So
that's what my gut tells me.
All right. Do you know how sometimes in large crowds you get bumped, I intentionally try not to shoulder check people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Saturday following the game at a concert, and this guy who I could tell was just blackout out of his mind is walking and beelines and kind of trips and then just hits me and shoulder checks me, right, Tommy?
Mm-hmm.
And I was frustrated, but I was smart and I didn't say anything and kept on walking. I was just kind of shook my head and kept going. Well, my buddy behind me took issue with that he did that to me. So he comes up and shoulder checks that guy. And then they're kind of spouting back and forth. We walk across the bridge. Tommy, this guy follows us to try and get an apology from this guy. An
apology?
After he shoulder checked me and I didn't say anything, and because a buddy of mine shoulder checked him, he walked over 3/4 of a mile to try and get an apology. I mean, guys are in certain drunken states. They do some stuff. That was easily the worst of the weekend, and we finally did it just to get him off our backs. There's 5 of us and 1 of him, and we're thinking, all right, this guy's probably going to try and swing on us, and we're going to have to take him out to the woodshed. But it was one of those things where it's like, dude, what are you doing? You walked the full length of a bridge to try and get an apology after something you did initially to start. And we're just kind of sitting there together. I was like, have you ever seen anything like that at all?
That's why I don't go out after 9 p.m.
What does my dad always used to say? Nothing good happens after. I think he used to say 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that was after 11
say
o'clock.
Midnight.
I just sitting there. I've never seen anything like that before, especially after getting shoulder checked initially.
I've never been shoulder checked in church, Ty. That's all I'll say. If you're in church on Saturday night, you won't get shoulder checked. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Hey, we're brought to you by Joe's Grill and Cantina, the place. By Friday, you'll have all the turkey sandwiches you've wanted. Get out and get some great food from Joe's Grill and Cantina and watch the game on Friday. They'll be there all weekend, but during the game on Friday, half-price apps and taps. Now, what happens tonight around 8 o'clock, Ty?
What happens tonight around 8 o'clock, Arkansas takes on Kansas State, where there will be half-price apps and taps.
There you go. So don't forget, even during the basketball games, you can go to Joe's Grill and Cantina, the half-price appetizers, the half-price beers on tap tonight for basketball at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
We also we got our potluck, which I know is going to be picked up. We're picking up some Joe's for that. We're making some dips.
2 years in a row that we've done Joe's for. We don't do everybody has turkey and ham and dressing all that hauled in for your Thanksgiving office potlucks and caterings. We've done lasagna here. We're doing Mexican again this week. I don't need any more turkey.
I'm on board.
We go to
get enough turkey on Thursday.
Exactly.
In Little Rock, when I spend Christmas with my family, we go to my parents' favorite Mexican spot. So I guess it's guess it's not just us, but it varies on different holidays. Some people have their set in stone holidays, what they do, and that's what we do for ours. But are you guys
You go where? You said you go
a Mexican restaurant in Little Rock. So
nothing wrong with that
at all. You got your dip picked out. I know.
Yeah,
you got a homemade trout dip that we're trying.
Buffalo chicken dip.
Buffalo chicken dip. So I've got
That's almost like a cheat code. Everyone likes buffalo chicken dip.
Who's finishing second?
No. Who?
That's
like Larry
cheating.
Bird.
That's cheating.
Maddie and Connie usually make a good dip. That's Maddie's girlfriend.
Which one of you guys want to finish second?
I went out on a limb and made something unique, different in a smoked trout dip.
I am looking more forward to your dip than mine.
I caught the fish.
Yeah.
You were going to eat fish that I caught.
But did you bait the hook?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to your smoked trout dip.
Yeah,
they used to have that at Big Cedar. You could find it there when you'd eat there. They've taken it off the menu, so I'm looking forward to it.
You got Johnny Morris on speed dial, don't you? Can't you just talk to him?
He's got me on speed dial.
Is that right?
Next time he calls, I'll let him know that, hey, get that back on the menu.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do? If I ever go to Big Cedar again, I happen to see him, I'm going to ask, hey, do you know Tommy Kraft? And I kind of just want to see his response to that.
I'm pretty sure I know what his response was. May not even be that nice. Exactly.
Who the...
He's that guy that writes you these checks when he comes up here. Oh, and we're glad to have him.
The one of 500,000 every
year. Exactly. Hey, we're brought to you by Will's RV on a Hot Take Monday. You can get by Will's and get one of their great RVs at a great price and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Will's. 5 miles west of Exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Will's RV.
Been a good Monday edition of the Morning Rush for Tommy and Drew. I'm Ty. Everyone have a great holiday week, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
What does everybody want this year? Their very own hot tub. Hot Spring Spas makes